My lord, may we please play Animal Crossing? I look quite lovely.
Molest me not! I did not get the villager I wanted in my town! I threw it from the window.
Oh, heartwarming. Heartrending. Shannon-san. Cannon-san. There's no reason for those to be picked on. But it cannot be denied that they are disliked by Gohoda-san. Poor Gohoda-san was taken in by the Ushiromiya head house. I heard he had worked for a fabulous hotel somewhere. I do think the manner of work he learned there was quite something. It's just that Ueda-san is the newest servant here. He must have a lot of pride accumulated from his previous posts. Because Shannon-san and Karen-kun are his superiors here at the mansion, yet are inexperienced and have gone through much less life than he has. He picks on them every chance he gets. And although it's terrible, they are hated by Madame Natsushi too. Natsuhi or
Natsuhi.
Natsuhi and Goda.
I'm gonna do that line over.
Mm-hmm.
Though it's terrible, they are hated by Madame Natsuhi too. Of course, in terms of experience, Madame has been in the family much longer. However, I must feel some sympathy for Madame as well in this case. The Master is a truly cruel person. Why could he not have realized that his trifling whim would pass such an inferiority complex upon Madame? Naturally, deep inside, even Madame fully acknowledges there's no reason to treat those two so harshly. However, the heart has reasons that reason does not. How heart-rending. I cannot do anything but watch over them from the shadows. How was that?
Yeah, it was good.
It was good.
Oh!
I liked it. Oh!
Hey, into the chapter!
There was a glass break.
Is that it? That's the glass break thingy?
Yeah, that's the glass. Alright, guys, stream up! God, we were like 2 minutes away from being done. I forgot about that.
Where's the time?
The four of us cousins were shooting the breeze over all kinds of topics. After all, there are both girls and guys here. Plus, we've got people over a wide spread of ages. Adult, high school, and elementary school. All each of us had to do was talk about ourselves. And it would be of great interest to the other three. I think I'm finally getting used to all this. I mean, Jessica and Maria, you both grown more than I could have imagined over the past 6 years. So, to be honest, I was feeling a bit uncomfortable. Talking like this, I guess that on the inside, nothing's really changed since back then.
Right back at you! But after 6 years, you haven't changed a bit. Although your body's gotten gigantic, you're still a kid inside. A kid too! My kid too!
Well, you aren't gonna be a kid forever, are you, Maria? I mean, you're gonna grow from being a cute kid to a young lady, ain't you? To a cute young lady. Oh fuck, I screwed that up. You're gonna go from being a kid to a cute young lady, ain't you? And when that happens, that flat as a board chest will be on Jessica's level, you know. When that happens...
No!
God
Stop, Battler, no!
Oh, should we put Battler in horny jail now?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes!
No!
When that happens,
very
let me
much
rub it,
deserves
okay?
it.
Promise!
Oh no!
Warning, there's other horny people there.
I thought you said that we wouldn't have this in Umineko.
It's the 80s.
Like,
It gets
wasn't-
better! Ah!
Because he's written by Ryukishi, he has to have him creeping on the child character. Ryukishi just simply can't resist it.
But he's really a nice guy.
Every step
makes
that I take is another mistake to you. Oh my god.
Ah! You love it! Promise!
No, you don't promise that shit.
No, Maria-chan, what the fuck? You can't make that kind of promise, okay? That's bad.
Huh? I promise, don't let him rub it.
Oh.
I keep my promises. Always keep promises. Always keep them.
Maria, you're a really earnest, good girl. The guy you marry is gonna be really lucky.
Don't try to smooth over the topic with the promise intact. Maria, that promise never happened. Never. Promise cancel. Honey, it's better that way.
I realize now, it really didn't feel like a proper gathering of cousins without Battler-kun in our group, did it? These 6 years have been kinda lonely.
Hold on a second. Now my notifications are coming in through my Discord at the same time that they're doing all of this shit.
It's okay.
And it's annoying as fuck! Oh, whatever. I can fix this afterwards. That's true. We weren't able to goof off like this. Still, we did have some pretty constructive conversations, don't you think? Stuff about preparing for our future, exam taking, or finding jobs.
Oh, I'm sorry. Now that I'm here, there's just this stupid babbling.
Kinda didn't need help in that department. But I'm having fun this year.
That's true. I agree this year's the most fun.
Maria's sincere words probably spoke for everyone. When George Anarchy stroked Maria's head, she giggled like a happy kitten.
Pardon me. Your meal is prepared.
A timid knocking sound and an equally timid young woman's voice came through the door. Jessica answered brightly.
Shannon, come in! You remember Battler, don't you?
Jessica's there from the bed and opened the door. There stood a servant girl who was definitely about our age.
Sorry. I had to sneeze. It's been quite some time since we last met, Battler-sama. It's nice to see you after 6 years. I'm Shannon.
Feeling my presence and trembling a little, she bowed deeply. Wow! Jessica had me surprised, but Shannon-chan, you've shocked me just as much. You're into a total beauty, haven't you?
Your words are too much. They're too good for me.
Seriously, the food on this island must be really nutritional, no? What are you eating? What are you training to get your boobs that big? Fucking hell.
You had to bring up where his reaction face was, and now he's there.
There he is. Guess I have to feel him a bit and see whether yours are just because they're bigger, okay? With both hands poised and saliva dribbling from my mouth, I closed in. Sake of my honor and justice. I like to point out that I don't suffer from some strange disease that makes my lymph nodes itch until I scratch my neck open, and it can only be prevented by rubbing breasts.
Okay, whoever posts porn from here out is a complete and utter nerdball, and we get to go ahead and roast you live on Steam.
Also, wow, you
That
guys...
will only
Did Battler
get them
just reference Sashimi Salad syndrome?
Yes, he did just reference
Yeah.
Hinamizawa syndrome.
They'll do that.
It's just my battler-style way of communicating.
You know, now that I think of it, nobody actually tried rubbing breasts to cure Hinamizawa syndrome.
Oh, I'm sure
Nobody
Keiichi
tried it.
I think Keiichi tried.
I'm sure Tomitake tried it once or twice. When a boy closes in like a
You
girl
realize
like this...
the implications that behind that are, right?
Yes, that's why
Yeah.
I said it.
Horrible.
When a boy closes in like a girl like this, 9 out of 10 times I get slapped or clobbered, right? This is a Battler-sama original communication technique, aiming for a gag like that to break the ice!
With your own family.
Well, this means I really do get to touch them on the 1 in 10 chance, though, right? Yeah! I never asked for that much, though!
Oh my god!
No!
But now, my hands are less than a centimeter
Booba,
away from
close
Shannon
up.
Chan's
Oh,
chest. But the counter-strike had yet to come!
Wait, can you switch to Old Spice quickly? I want to see if it does
switch
the...
to, I can't switch to Old Spice.
Oh, right, I forgot, that sucks.
Umineko is built different.
She
Do you
understood
wanna
what
see
was going
Shannon's
on,
Old
and she was
Spice?
blushing and had her head lowered in embarrassment. She was just standing there with both hands probably joined in front of her, not even trying to resist or cover her chest. Whoa! I wasn't planning on this! My fucking controller vibrated. Please, hit me right now! At this rate, I'm seriously gonna touch them!
Bruh.
Which is why I was glad that Jessica chose at that time to drive her elbow into the back of my head. Girl! Jessica! Thank you!
Why the hell are you thanking me? Huh?
No. My bad, Shannon Chan. Looks like I got a little too absorbed in your hypnotic chest. No, more to the point. When someone gets that close, they've clearly got criminal intentions. Seriously, you've gotta resist.
But you are an exalted guest, Battler-sama.
Now look here. A crime's a crime whether I'm a guest or not. 10 centimeters around a girl's chest is like an air defense identification range. Someone trespass within 2 centimeters. It's already invasion of airspace, and you launch a slap to the face on high alert.
I couldn't do such a thing. We are, that is, furniture, and
Of course she didn't want her breasts to get touched. But if a guest so desired, she intended to sacrifice her own needs in an effort to accommodate them. A girl like this needs some urgent protection. In these days, and there's a dedicated and virtuous girl like this. It makes my head spin. But no! No! I come at you with a perverted face! You smack me down. No perverts! No Fortnite! You gotta complete the joke or it doesn't work. Please, it's a polite request. Smack me! Like this! Smack! Smack!
I cannot comply with polite requests. My dog agrees. 1 second.
Man, she has great tits, my god.
Christ, Bone, she's 16!
She's 16!
Damn it.
Do I be hitting on Mion and Xion now?
Guys, this is Japan, right? The legal age is 14.
Look,
I cannot comply with polite requests because I'm furniture. But I will comply with it if it's an order. Because that is my duty.
Then I'll make it an order. From now on, if Battler-kun tries to touch your breast, you are to counterattack with a slap. Alright?
Yes. As you command. That is what I will do from now on. Battler-sama, I hope you can keep this in mind.
So Shannon Chan declared, while bowing elegantly to me. Her facial expression was radiant. I gave her a thumbs up signal. You got it! 6 years ago, you might have been mistaken for a servant's daughter who just came in to lend a hand sometimes. But now you're a full-fledged adult servant. How many years has it been?
Well, I've had the pleasure of serving this household for about 10 years.
She's that. The kanji for her name is read as Shannon. This is another far from typical name for a Japanese person. Being a kid back in those days, I had taken it in her name without paying much attention. But for her to be called something like that is pretty unusual given that she isn't even a member of the Ashuramiya family. Maybe it's like a servant's professional name or something. If so,
That's a thing that's real.
I can kind of understand why that Canon-kun's name sounds that way, the way it does too. She's a long-term servant who served here since she was 6. Since her body had changed radically, she didn't match my memories. We used to know each other 6 years ago. It looked like she was just about as shy as she had been in the past.
Very good.
But I got the sense that she had become imbued with a charm befitting a girl her age. Especially her breasts. Her chest beefers.
That kid we met earlier, Canon-kun, is her little brother.
He's not exactly my little brother. Still, he loves me like a big sister. He didn't cause you any trouble, did he? He's the same as always. It's a shame he doesn't act just a bit more sociable. It seems Canon-kun has caused trouble. I apologize.
He didn't cause any trouble at all. As a fellow man, I understand how moody you can get at that age. I'm surprised he isn't sociable.
Comment all the time too. Get called unsociable. Like Canon.
Maria-sama, you are not unsociable at all.
It was nice to be like him.
You said the meal was ready, right?
Ah, yes. My apologies. The preparations for your meal have been carried out, so I shall be guiding you all to the mansion.
Shannon bowed again formally and returned to her duty mode. It was that who made her stick around for any more light conversation. It would actually make it harder for her to do her job. So we got up off our butts to avoid interfering with her work any further.
Shall we go to the mansion then? You probably all are starting to get hungry as well, right?
Sure am. I always look forward to meals when Goda-san's here cooking. That guy seems like a chef at this famous hotel, so he's super good at it.
Oh, I look forward to that. Let's go, Maria. We're gonna stuff ourselves like pigs.
Stuff ourselves like pigs.
No. You can't just take everything Battler Kun says seriously, okay? Because it's all jokes. Come on, let's go.
That's right, everything I say is a joke. Under Shan-chan's guidance, we headed towards the mansion.
Like your love life?
Oh, damn.
I've been getting more cutthroat with my insults lately.
Yeah.
Nice.
The Battler's earned it.
Yeah,
Met once again by the magnificent Rose Garden. We continued onward as it came into view. The imposing mansion of the Ashuramiya main family. It had apparently been built shortly after the war, so you could feel the dignity of almost half a century hanging about it. On the surface, the building was gorgeous. Being as old as it was, seemingly lacking in modern amenities like air conditioning. According to Jessica, midwinter was especially rough, well, with all the drafts. Well, it's not they couldn't take the kotatsu out.
My family has a summer home and has the same thing. It doesn't
always
have,
she
like,
cries
heating.
in the corner as this mansion lacks
There he
air
is!
conditioning.
Sup, Jeeves?
As we entered the entrance hall, an aged servant greeted us. Now,
Can you make me a sandwich?
No.
now him, I remember. As the most senior member of the staff, Genji-san serves as the head of the servants.
Digital?
Digital.
Digital,
Joshua, you're
Digital.
needed on set.
Hey.
Cannon.
He may have went to get a drink not knowing his
Oh.
role was gonna come up as soon as it did.
He went to go make Carlton a
Rack, little
sandwich.
shit.
But he's saying something.
Oh, his
Oh,
fucking
my
mic
God.
isn't working.
Oh no!
Oh no!
We're fucking cursed.
Natalie,
Hey,
Sam,
hey!
Summer, we have not met in a long while. I'll take it. No, I'm kidding. I'm not gonna do it.
Taking my role. Oh my god, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can
Yes.
hear
I can hear you now.
Yes, yes,
We can
yes.
hear you now.
Okay,
What
good.
happened?
What the fuck? My mic's very fucking finicky right now, but I can make it.
We are
Huh?
cursed, aren't we?
Yeah.
So cursed.
I don't care
this-
now. Everyone, shut up. I'm
Your
about to
mic
read.
caught the conflow.
I'm
Let
already-
everyone
Everybody shut up.
About the summer. We have not met in a long while.
As our eyes met, he saluted us with a composed voice. He didn't quite give a refined a bow as Goda, but it was a bow that had feeling, even if it wasn't polished to the same degree. Genji-san, it's been absolutely ages. You look well.
Thank you. I have been quite well. And you, about the summer. I see you have become a splendid young man yourself. I would even say you have grown to somewhat resemble the master in his youth.
I'm looking like grandfather? I guess that means grandfather was pretty popular when he was young.
From here on, I shall take Shannon's place and accompany you. Please come this way.
Shan bowed deeply and saw us off. Leaving the entrance hall, we head to the dining hall under Genji-san's guidance. Genji-san, just like Kumasawa-san, stood in stark contrast to us young people, who had grown beyond recognition over the last 6 years. His figure was exactly the same as in my memories of 6 years ago. It seemed like time had stopped since we last met. Genji-san was a silent and diligent person. He was like grandfather's close aide or caregiver. In fact, you could even go so far as to say he was grandfather's right-hand man. Actually, it seems like he was by grandfather's side more than my late grandmother was. According to Jessica, grandfather trusts him more than any of his blood relatives. But I wonder how long he served. Never asked for details, but I think I heard he's been here since the beginning, when the mansion was constructed. As to say, he's dedicated half his life to serving here. No wonder grandfather trusts him. As we got through the open ceilinged hall behind Genji-san, I found something I had no memory of from 6 years ago. It was an awfully big portrait hung right in the front of the stairs that rose to the second floor. Without thinking, I stopped walking under its spell. Since I suddenly stopped, Maria, who was following behind me, ran into my back. Sorry. Hey, Jessica. Did that picture used to be there? I pointed to the large and conspicuous portrait hanging in the hall. Everyone else stopped too.
Right. When you last came here, that hadn't been hung yet, had it? When was it again?
I think, if my memory doesn't fail me, it was around a year before the last.
You are correct. In April of a year before last. The fuck, hold on, let me retry that. You are correct. In April of the year before last, the master had this painting put on display, which he had instructed an artist to paint for him some time prior.
Grandfather did that. So he went out of his way to have it drawn. The portrait displayed a woman in an elegant dress. Gave a sense of refinement. And suit the Western style of this mansion. I couldn't have guessed her age, but the sharpness and obvious strength of will in her eyes gave me the impression of youth. It was a different feeling than the composed mood of a middle-aged woman that that are often in famous pictures. If the woman hadn't had normal black hair, it might have gone through with a portrait of my long-deceased grandmother in her prime. However, the woman in the portrait had beautiful golden hair, and didn't look Japanese at all. So, who is she then, this woman? As though trying to show off her knowledge, Maria answered that with a simple question with authority.
I know. Beatrice.
What?
Beatrice. She's a witch. Didn't you ever hear about her long ago?
The witch? You mean of this island? I think I already said this. Rokenjima is a small island that's only about 10 kilometers around. However, considering that only the Yashirimiya family lives here, that's quite large. There's only a harbor in the site around the mansion was set up to be lived in. Beyond that, the island remained as untouched as it was when it was still uninhabited. I understand how dangerous a vast, empty forest with no lamplight, bones, or people passing through it all actually is. You need to shift your urban assumptions a little. You see, if by any chance you fell down a hole in the depths of the forest and sprained your ankle. Apologies, I'm going to bump the music a smidge. Actually, wait here, I can just do it fucking locally. I'll just change the audio a little bit.
Nice.
Here we go. Because like, if you guys can hear it enough, right?
Oh yeah, the Discord.
I can hear it. It's a bit low on the stream.
You're
Yeah,
but,
I
like,
actually
it's not
had
like
the
stream
stream at
stream.
like 25%. That's why I couldn't hear it. It's fine now.
Here, you know what? I'll just...
Don't mind me, just taking notes.
Here, I'll just... Next.
As I was
Oh,
saying,
I shouldn't look at this, right?
No, you're fine. Here, I moved
Oh,
it
I
up
thought you
one...
said that it was
I moved it up
spoilers.
one notch. How's that sound?
That's good.
Fine.
Cool. So,
Word.
you see, yeah, I know. No one would come for you. If it then got dark, the forest, where there are no streetlights, would become enshrouded in complete darkness. Also, since there obviously aren't any guideposts here, it's easy to get lost and lose your sense of direction in this dark forest. Nowadays, most people see a forest as a peaceful place. But to the people of bygone eras, before the light of civilization drove out the night, forests were like oceans on land, geographically separating one culture from another. As fishermen who go out into the ocean occasionally have their lives put in danger despite their technical knowledge. Technical knowledge also demanded of hunters who went out into the forest. Their lives were occasionally put in danger just the same. If a child were to go play in that dangerous forest, something terrible might happen. Some parent must have thought that. Maybe my grandmother, or possibly the man himself. My grandfather might have said it. Or maybe it was a story handed down on this island from long, long ago. There's a terrible witch in the forest, so you must not go in. Thus, Rokenjima's ghost story was born. That is the legend of the witch of Rokenjima. When we say witch on this island, referring to the master of the vast and savage forest. Which reminds me, when I was little and stayed at the mountain, during the eerie nights when the wind and rain struck the windows, stories like the witch of the forest is roaming around in search of a sacrifice would scare the heck out of me. Beatrice, huh? As I searched my memory prompted by anarchy, I did vaguely remember being told that was her name, when I was very small. Right. Still, I completely forgot that the witch of that legend had an elegant name like Beatrice. God damn. Don't tell me that grandfather went out of his way to have her depicted in the painting just because us grandchildren refused to believe him.
It's the witch from Grandfather's Delusions. Ever since he had this picture hung up, he's been losing the distinction between fantasy and reality. Like E3 nerds. To us, it's no more than the witch from his imagination, but as to Grandfather, she's a being who exists on this island. Exists. That's why he says he had the picture painted. so that we'd understand. Creeps the hell out of me.
Milady. To the Master, this is an important portrait, as well he is still hoping for Gino and Smash. I must request strongly that you must not say such a thing in front of him.
I know that. You couldn't get me to say it even if you begged me.
Jessica turned away after glaring a second at the portrait.
Let's go. We're making everyone wait in the dining hall.
Hungry.
Only a small portion of this island is controlled by the Ashurmia family. If all of the wild remainder was the witch of Beatrice's domain, then one could say that she was a being who actually ruled over Rokenjima. That unsettling, ominous feeling I had felt on the boat trip, when the shrine had been struck by lightning, revived within me a bit. At the time, Kumasawa-san tried to tell an ominous story about Rokenjima, and had been stopped by Jessica. I didn't know what she had tried to tell us about the island, but there was one thing I did know. Rokenjima's ruler was not the Ashurmia family. It was the witch, Beatrice. Yes, because this is the witch's island.
Damn it, it's not doing it. Oh, no wonder my thing is off center. Okay.
Doppler! Slow!
When I looked around, everyone was already heading towards the dining hall. I hurriedly chased after them. Walked up to the huge double doors that led to the dining hall. Genji-san knocked.
I have brought the children. If you will excuse me.
The door was open and we were all invited inside. The dining hall, which screamed filthy rich, featured a superb long table, which was obviously designed with no other purpose than to make the guests conscious of their rank. And our parents were already seated in accordance with that ordering. Yeah.
Goddamn rich people.
You're late, brats. Hurry up and take your seats.
The old bastard pressed us to sit. Only the places where we would sit were empty at the long table, which only made us feel our tardiness all the more. Seated at the very end of the table, which you might call the seat of honor, was for the most highly ranked and reserved for grandfather. It was still empty. He was probably planning to come in last to make himself look important. The seating order, as you face the seat of honor, went from left to right in rows of 2, with the ranking being lower the further you were from it. So on the left-hand side of the row close to the seat of honor was the second-ranked seat, belonging to the eldest of the adult siblings, Uncle Kraus. Looked like he hadn't arrived yet either, so that seat was empty. Then opposite him, on the right-hand side of the first row, sat the eldest daughter of the family, Auntie Ava, ranked at number 3. The left-hand side on the second row was for number 4. There sat the old bastard, Rudolph, as the third of the siblings. Opposite him sat number 5, the youngest sibling, Auntie Rosa. Going like this, you might think the next ones would come after them would be their husbands and wives, but yes, again, because the left-hand seat is in the following third row, meaning rank number 6 was actually Jessica's seat. Opposite her was George Anarchy. Then, the seat next to Jessica was me, and opposite me was Maria. And next to me on the left-hand side of the 5th row, all the way down at number 10, finally came Aunt Natsuhi. Opposite her was Uncle Hideyoshi. Next to Aunt Natsuhi, in the 6th and final row on the left-hand side, was Kirie-san. The seat opposite to Kirie-san had been laid out like the others, but was empty. According to the ranking system, that spot was the seat where Aunt Rosa's husband should be sitting. He hasn't come, as far as I know, but the table had been laid for his seat. Yeah. These kind of ranking orders usually permit the spouse a corresponding status, but for the Ashurmia family, had an original kind of ranking. Maybe it's leftover of male chauvinism. Under the notion that the mother's womb is only a temporary house for the child, and she contributes no genes, the children of direct descent would have the highest ranking, followed by the grandkids. I mean, the spouses with no blood ties would be considered the last in line. It's terrible. But according to that ranking order, grandmother, if she was still alive, would be in position even lower than mine. In youth, obey your father. Your marriage, your husband. After aging, your children. I left over the times when they used to say, woman, no home in 3 worlds. Long ago, when I was still incapable of figuring all this out, thought it was so great that we could all chat with the adult siblings sitting in their group and us cousins in ours. However, now that I can re-examine the seating order after growing up a bit, there are some very complicated feelings in me. On Natsuhi. Natsuhi married to the eldest son of the family, responsible for managing the household, number 2 for all practical intents and purposes. That to my right. That she was 2 steps lower than me in the ranking order. Difficult to guess what was going through her head. As I made a small apologetic gesture before sitting down.
How nice to see you, Badler-kun. You've grown quite tall, haven't you?
Yeah. Normal life, you know. Food, meals, eating. And suddenly I was this tall!
Both do grow fast, don't they? How tall are you?
I guess about 180 centimeters? No, wait. You missed your moment. You're supposed to jump in with, did you do anything besides eat?
Huh?
I'll have to make you a little bit louder. There we go.
I'm sorry.
After a moment, she gave a small laugh. Seems she couldn't quite figure out what she was supposed to be laughing at. This woman was on Natsuhi. She's the wife of the eldest son of the family, and she's my dad's older brother's wife. It's easier to get it if I just call her Jessica's mother. It feels bad to say it like this, but not that I hated her, but I didn't particularly like her. She never got into our kids' circle, and my only impression of her was as someone who had always talked about complicated stuff with my parents, letting a crabby expression on her face. The fact is that having barely ever exchanged words, I hesitated a lot just to even now about how to approach her. And it was pretty much a flop. The silverware had been tidily set up on the table, but that meal itself hadn't been brought in. As a rule, the meal didn't start until the man at the head of the table has taken his seat. Though as long as grandfather, the highest ranked, didn't come, lunch would be indefinitely on hold. Not even the appetizers would come. In other words, sounds in the dining hall was the sound of our parents as they withstood their hunger and waited, on tender hooks for grandfather to come. Except the grandfather I remembered always showed up on the right time when we ate together like this. He wouldn't ever have been so late as to have everyone else waiting for him. Grandfather's pretty late. As far as I can remember, he was always strict about staying on time.
Maybe 6 years ago, yeah. But not lately. Seriously, he's off in his own little world now. He doesn't even show up at family meals. I figured he'd at least stick around for today's meal, though. That said, if he doesn't turn up, I'll be a hell of a lot more relaxed and happier to boot.
Jessica.
After being scolded by her mother, Jessica faced the other way, sticking her tongue out. No way around it. Nothing to do but wait for the host to arrive. When I glanced at the clock, I saw that it was almost 20 minutes past 12.
Oh, I hold grudges over food, man.
The aged master at the Ashurmiya head house, Ashurmiya Kinzo. He was there in his study. The clock showed noon, but he didn't even attempt to get up. With reading glasses on his face, he stacked up old-fashioned books with elaborately designed bindings, one on top of another beside him, immersing himself in their readings. It definitely didn't look like it was for his leisure. On the contrary, he exuded impatience, crisis, as every minute, every second were precious. The ceiling was dense with dancing dust particles, and the air stagnant with a mix of smells and various elixirs, each giving off their own suspicious stench. They were somehow sweet and heavy. For anyone with a good nose, the first thing they do after entering would be to open a window and ventilate the room. When Knocking against the study door had been going on for a while. A voice calling father sometimes mingled with the knocks. As Kinzo heaved a deep sigh, he snapped shut the old books he had in his hands and slammed it onto the table. Then he yelled at Kraus, who was continuing to knock on the door. Silence! Will you stop that noise, fool? Who taught you the door shall be opened unto you if you knock? They crucified that imbecile. Do you wish the same upon yourself?
Father, today is the day of the family conference. It comes just once a year. Everyone has gathered downstairs. Please come out.
Oh, fucking yawning. Kraus called out to his father through the door. Kinzo always shut himself up in the study and hated even letting his family into the room. For that reason, Kraus had no choice but to call out thus from the corridor. Molest me not! Everyone! Who is everyone? You refer to the fools trying to drag me out of here. Then kill them all! Chop them up, make them into firewood, feed them to the witch's hearth. Put a pot in that hearth and boil wormwood. And if still there, remain imbeciles enough, foolish enough as they dare to lure me out from here, force them to drink in the broth of the apocalypse. Preserve the remainder in liquor. Genji, where are you? Call for Genji! Have my demonic absinthe prepared! The whispering of the green fairy reaches me no longer. Where is Genji? Call for Genji!
What is the one I in that fucking spelling of Genji capitalized?
Before the door, Kraus, Nanjo, and Genji kept waiting for the master of the house, who would not come out.
Oh my god, I want to punch this guy!
Looks like he hates me to his core. My voice doesn't reach him anymore.
Kraus shrugged as if saying, "It's no use!" and smiled bitterly.
I guess it's no use.
He himself hadn't believed for a moment that his father would answer his calls. However, as it was the duty of the eldest son, he had formally made the request.
Kenzo-san. Your sons, daughters, and grandchildren have come to see you now, you know. How about you show your face, just a little?
Shut up! Be silent! You dare admonish me, Nanjo? I did not call for you. I said to call for Genji.
Jesus, I was just saying.
Now hurry! Call for him this instant! Time is short. The apostles are readying their trumpets. Why do you not understand that, you foolish sheep? Kinzo slammed the old heavy book on the table over and over. What's up?
I just noticed something.
What's up?
They're all in Japan, right? Then why are all of his kids blonde?
What do you mean all of his kids?
Not all of them.
Not all of them.
Like 2 are.
Just 3 of them. Just 2.
1 kid and like 1 grandkid, I think.
But blonde hair isn't a trait in Japan.
Yeah, there are some
it's
kids
in
who are
anime.
blonde. It's just that they're forced to dye their hair black when they go to school, so that they fit in.
That's still incredibly sus.
I think it's just a trait of anime.
I think it's just anime. I mean, like, Battler has red
I'll
hair.
also go out on a limb and say, we never do see Kinzo's
Yeah. Yeah, as I say, why does Battler have red hair?
The record obviously indicated his highest displeasure. Kinzo put his spectacles down and flew up from his chair. He spread his arms wide open, as if singing to a packed opera house, as if appealing to someone, and yelled. Why? Why is there always something in my way? I would throw it all away. I would offer up everything. And there's only one thing I ask in repayment. Oh, Beatrice! If I could see your smile but one more time, I'd plunder the smiles out of the earth and offer them all up to you! Oh, commander of the Locust Legion, reap the smiles of the earth! Ah, all is filthy. All is irksome. Why must I suffer the impediment of this on this most precious of days? Call for Genji!
I have no idea what he's yelling. I guess he's finally gone nuts.
Crow-son. Crow-son, isn't that a bit harsh to say to your birth father?
My dad is already dead.
Damn.
All that's here is a phantom of what he once was. At any rate, as long as he lacks the will to leave that room, there's nothing we can do.
Kenzo-san.
Choking coughs continue to pour out from the study.
I'm going back downstairs. It would be a waste to let that lunch Goda's so proud of get any colder. It's one of the few things the others have to look forward to here.
Kraus spun on his heels. Looked at his wristwatch, mumbling and acting as though he had wasted time, doing something he knew would be in vain.
Genji-san, Father is calling for you. Keep him company.
Certainly. Got nothing better to do anyway.
Gauss?
Dr. Nonjo, let's go eat. If we stay here any longer, even our sense of taste will go insane from this sweet smell.
Without waiting for Nanjo, Kraus went downstairs. Genji urged Nanjo to go and eat. Nanjo looked first to Kraus's back as he disappeared down the stairs. Then to the study door as he let out a deep sigh.
I'm sorry, Genji-san. Please.
Yes, please leave it to me.
If possible, don't give him alcohol. It's too powerful a habit.
Is Genji not here yet? Who dares keep Genji from coming? Ah, where is Genji? Call for Genji!
Ellie.
No, please leave it to me.
Sorry.
Nanjo gave a small duck of his head and descended the stairs. Genji saw him off and knocked on the study door.
My lord.
Wait, did someone say my name?
Huh? What?
No? It's like Genji, not Shelly.
Yeah, it's Genji.
Yeah,
Genji! Why must you make me wait so long? There was no one there I trust.
Yes. I am alone.
Kenzo returned to his seat in the study and pressed an old-fashioned switch on the table. His Nintendo Switch.
As opposed to one of those newfangled switches.
My lord, may we please play Animal Crossing? I look quite ill.
Molest me not! I did not get the villager I wanted in my town! And I threw it from the window. After a small delay, the heavy sound of the door unlocking could be heard. Kenzo believed that his family might try to break into his study. Perhaps someone had once opened the window from some air and scattered some important documents or something. And that had made him extremely upset. Kenzo placed a small lock in his room, making it so that without his permission nobody could enter. Unlocking himself in the dungeon he himself created. Genji, who he had trusted the most, relatively free to enter the room, but even that was not absolute. If Kenzo was in a bad mood, even he wouldn't be able to enter. Anyone else would be limited to holding a conversation through the door, not even seeing his face. Most of the time, they wouldn't even get a real conversation. However, that didn't pose any particular problem for the family. That's because they had no reason to go out of their way to interfere with the resentment of the cantankerous and aged head.
That says retirement.
retirement of the cantankerous and aged head, the fact that he was completely immersed in his odd research, and always locked up in a hideaway with something of benefit. They made the most of his refusal to leave the study, entrusting him to the hands of the servants, while they themselves kept their distance. Genji, my usual. I'm busy.
Yes.
Genji headed to the corner of the study. There, suspicious-looking bottles boasting venomous colors were on display. They were actually liquor, but considering that they were placed in this shady-looking room, you don't suspect that they might be ghastly poisons. The inside of the study was filled with a mountainous library of outlandish books that Kinzo had amassed. They were bizarre old books, some banned, and each and every one of them had either forbidden, cursed, or sealed. Of course, if one were to actually call them old books, Kinzo would fly into a rage and say something like this. Call them grimoires.
You fucking nerd.
They were candles which had melted into suspicious-looking fashion and taken on peculiar forms, and all manner of other strange objects, probably having something to do with black magic. The constellations covering the celestial globe would have caused anyone who knew the night sky well to raise an eyebrow. The illustrations inscribed in old books, haphazard left open, ranged from the religious and mythical to the demonic and grotesque, as well as bizarre diagrams of various magic circles. And above all, the sweet, poisonous smell that had filled the room, which to those entering for the first time would surely be a profound assault on their senses, and making them lose their grip on reality. I realized I took out like an entire sentence in like 2 words. Inside that study, Genji, with his well-trained hands, prepared Kinzo's usual drink. If you didn't know the ghastly dark green liquid that filled the complexly designed bottle was liquor, you certainly wouldn't want to put it in your mouth.
That's absinthe for you.
Hmm?
Well, it's 68% alcohol and it's made with wormwood.
He poured a small quantity of the spirit into the glass. Placed a cube of sugar in a strangely shaped spoon, and then poured water from a pitcher over it. Strangely, when the colorless water is poured into it, the dark green liquid turned a cloudy white. It created a small visual illusion that the water had caused a chemical reaction, made it all the more difficult to perceive the concoction as liquor. This he added an original flavoring that Kinzo liked, and fine-tuned the taste. There was no recipe. Its success is measured only by Kinzo's mood swing when he drank it. He learned how to make it only after many decades. Genji placed the glass on a tray and then made his way over to Kinzo. Kinzo's now gazing out the window.
As you asked, my lord.
Thank you. Kinzo had regained his composure, much that he was now unrecognizable as the man who had been shouting, screaming, and yelling just moments before. And that man's black back dwelt a dignity and intelligence made plain simply by how he tilted his glass and gazed down at the scenery beyond the window. Genji, in order to allow Kinzo to set down his glass at any time, motionlessly waited behind and to his left, as though he were a living sideboard. As he did, Kinzo snuck out just the glass, his gaze still directed at the world outside the window. Just a mouthful remaining. And the gesture intended to set it upon the tray. As Genji expected, it was a motion to hand the glass over to Genji. Drink it, my friend.
That is more than I deserve.
I'm yawning, fuck. No need for ceremony between us. Drink it, friend.
Thank you.
Genji respectfully received the glass and inclined it a little to taste its contents. Then he downed it in one gulp. I attempted to imitate your concoction, but no matter how I try, I cannot replicate the taste. The way you make it is pure relish.
Thank you very much. It is the fruit of your guidance, my lord.
Kinzo smiled at his loyal subject, who refused to put aside rank even when asked to. However, he was not making fun of him. It was relaxed, like a smile at a close friend's riddable bad habit. We have grown old, you and I. And I forgot my age a long time ago.
That I was permitted to live the life I have until today has been all thanks to you, my lord.
Kinzo gave a thin smile to say that he didn't need compliments. You have served me exceedingly well these years. My sons call me eccentric. The servants that were once many, all of them retired in their growing fear of me. Only you, even now, serve me.
That is more than I deserve.
I doubt that I have much time left to live. My sons are vultures, lazily waiting for my inheritance to fall into their hands. That fool, Kraus, squanders money like water, throws away 2 gold coins to obtain 1. With that, he deludes himself into saying he has earned money. Abe's a slave to money, thinking of me as a hen or whatnot. As if when I die, she'll even use my carcass to make broth. That dunce Rudolph just wants to fool around with women. Rosa bore the baby of a nobody. Jessica's incompetent and illiterate. So there's none of what it takes to be a man. Battler is a fool who threw away the honor of the Ashramia family. And Maria's obscene to the eye. Why? Why is the Ashramia blood so incompetent? Is there anyone worthy to inherit the glory I built? Of course, I know that it is Beatrice's curse. I know it. The Golden Witch. This will be your revenge against me? Hate me if you wish. Run away if you wish. I won't let you go. I won't let you go. Won't let you go. Won't let you go. You are mine. You're gonna be anywhere but in my arms. You're my entire life. You'll continue to whisper for all eternity in my birdcage to me. Only to me. Beatrice. Why? Why won't you give me back your smile? Oh! Oh! Beatrice! Oh! After howling, Kinzo choked once again. He lifted the tray and the glass down as he patted his master's back. Genji's facial expressions did not change. Fuck. Genji's facial expressions did not change. It was always like this. Thank you, my friend. After his almost deranged outburst the past few minutes settled down,
Almost.
Kinzo regained his composure once more. The way his attitude changed was like seeing 2 different people. A wild Kinzo and a composed Kinzo, living together inside one body. And so, I have decided. I cannot stand spending this insipid remainder of my life procrastinating like this. If I had any final coins left to gamble, I choose to abandon them all to the whims of the demon's roulette. The power of magic is always determined by the risks staked upon it. Like visiting a shrine at the hour of the ox in an ancient Japanese sorcery. To nail a curse doll to a tree. The magic power dwells on incurring the risk that it will be seen before 7 days pass. The more dangerous the risk, the stronger the magic power will be. All the various miracles that appear in myth can be called crystals of admonishing magic power, obtained through miraculously low probabilities and astronomical risks. That Moses part of the Red Sea was no miracle of gods. It was the utterly desperate risk, weighed upon the scales of oppression, of being cornered by soldiers on the Red Sea's shores, which gave birth to miraculous magic power. If the same thing occurs again, on the same scope, you will no doubt not part. That's because Moses managed to spectacularly draw out the single miracle carved in the roulette of those in power, which has more pockets than Asogi 10 to the 56th power and Nayuta 10 to the 60th power multiplied together. The power to triumph over astronomical odds. Yes. Magical powers, in other words, having the luck to grasp miracles! To obtain great magical power, one must bear a risk that is hopelessly great. Those who possess no magic would call this not a bet, but pure deception. Desperation! Fuck. However...
Hey, I'm the only one allowed to post the Gamzee GIF.
What? I'm not even looking in there. Why are you people posting fucking... Why are you people posting Homestuck during the Umineko times?
Because you said miracles, motherfucker!
Also, that bit about 10 to the 56th power is not in the original fucking thing.
Yeah,
At least that's
the thing
not
that
on the
gets added in
Yeah,
with
okay.
this translation.
Oh, jeez, I see.
Oh, God!
I thought I installed the fucking Witch Hunt one, but oh well. However, those who truly do pass magical power can grasp hold of that miracle and make the enigma come into being. And if that power exists within me, I will seize that miracle. It'll make the wish that I devoted my life toward come true! Kendall looked up to the sky outside the window. He spread his arms as if appealing to someone up in the skies. And if I were to have what it takes to obtain that miracle, oh, Beatrice, show me your lovely smile once more. No matter how much time passes, your face does not vanish. It was your smile. That is all! I will turn everything you granted me. I'll turn all the glory I've gained since that day. I don't need fortune, prestige, or gold. I'll return everything you granted me. I just want to see your smile. I beg of you, Beatrice! Oh! His nonsensical yell segued into a scream, and then into a wail. Kenzo crumpled onto the floor, and clawed at it with both of his hands. Genji had no choice but to wordlessly watch over his master's lament. Fuck my throat.
Dude, that is not the right one! Dude, come on!
Wait, what?
She may be 500 years old, but lolly is lolly. You don't loot the lolly.
Crimson posted a gif of Beatrice from ReZero.
Ah.
Oh god. Okay. Nor, whenever you're ready.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the head of the family is not in his best shape. He considers it a great shame that he will not be able to partake in lunch with you all, you having assembled especially for this long-awaited yearly meeting. Goda, let the lunch begin.
Certainly. Well then, ladies and gentlemen, we shall begin today's luncheon.
Dr. Nanjo, is father's condition that bad? Surely he could have at least showed his face.
Rather than his physical condition, it's his mood.
Doubly no.
And for that, there is no medicine I can prescribe.
Oh, come on, for God's sakes, mood again? We come to hear how he's doing, making time in our schedules in this damn busy season of autumn. That's just... Then you got what you wanted, Rudolph. You managed to hear how he's doing. Or do you want to take my place and try to persuade our ill-humored father to come join us? Are you kidding?
Rudolph shrugged. Apparently, even though Rudolph seemed to resent the way his father did whatever he pleased, rather avoid seeing his face if he could help it.
Does it seem like his mood will improve before dinner? Kraus-Nisan.
I have no idea. You can try to ask father directly. Although I think his mood will improve faster if we don't bother him.
The only one who can bring grandfather's temper under control is Genji-san. Pretty damn pathetic when you have a servant to deal with your own parents' bad mood.
Jessica, don't speak out of turn.
I planned for her complaint to be heard only by her cousins. It had reached even Krause's ears. Scolded, Jessica scowled away and turned, sulking. His condition can't be that bad, can it? With that kind of temper? I mean, if they were saying he's not feeling well, that'd be one thing. But if it's his mood that's bad, at least it's proof that he's gotten some fight in him.
Well, Grandfather does have especially strong willpower. But it doesn't mean that his body will always follow that. Since last year, they kept saying that he had 3 months left. If the initial diagnosis was correct, Grandfather has been prolonging his life by willpower alone. We have to be concerned for him.
Please stop praying for my grandfather. He's gained too much power and he's escaped the hospital.
He is quite simply too angry to die, Bachelor.
Won't start with the family's heads, the seat's still empty. The man who should have been sitting there was already old. The brilliant glory which had rebuilt the Ashurmia family in a single lifetime, slowly being forgotten. I seemed to feel uncomfortable when the meal began with that seat still empty. Fuck.
Not
glass
a fan
shattering
of,
might disturb
not a
such
fan
planning.
of the glass breaking.
Oh, I like it.
Glassy.
The Ashurmia family conference was held once every year. It took place in the first weekend of October. If an old family were to use a pretentious name like Family Conference,
Bruh.
these might be nothing more than a reunion of rarely seen relatives who greet each other surrounded by buckets of sushi. However, in the Ashurmia family, where the sons and siblings are lent great fortunes, and only those that achieve success in business are considered adults, it literally was a conference. How much of the fortune was invested? What kind of business was conducted? How much was earned? As a result, how much of the fortune borrowed from the main family could be repaid? Or alternatively, how much would be borrowed for future business ventures?
Oh, brother.
What lessons had they learned, and what could they learn from their mistakes? It seems that topics like these have been discussed very seriously in the past. My dad had called it a bed of nails. Apparently it used to be a very serious family meeting. One would commonly be shared with harsh and angry voices. They'd even get slapped in the face despite being well past the age for it. However, that was all a thing of the past. By now, everyone achieved success in their own independent business ventures. It was on the road to becoming a normal yearly get-together. Even so, being asked by Grandfather about the current state of play was an extremely stress-inducing event. And while to us grandchildren it was nothing more than a simple meeting, to our parents it was still a real stomachache. The absence of the man responsible for all this, whatever the reason behind it, but surely made today's lunch even more delicious. The phrase, when the cat is away, the mice will play, comes to mind. Well then, let me introduce Jessica's father, whose face I haven't seen for 6 years. The man sitting to my dad's left is his older brother, and the father of Jessica. Uncle, that. The name sure is easy to read. Krause. So many weird names, it warps your sense of what's normal, and you start to think, hey, what's wrong with Krause? That's pretty cool, actually. Just like with Aunt Nazi, I don't have many memories of speaking with Uncle Krause. Never been one to talk to children, and I felt like he was always talking with the adults, just like Aunt Nazi. The way my dad talked about him, it seemed like he used to be a pretty spiteful and unreasonable person. If what Dad said is true, he used to be very domineering as the oldest sibling. He was hated by Auntie Ava, Auntie Rosa, and the rest of the family. Odd considering they're all having fun chatting together. Well, I guess even if their relationship was bad when they were children, sometimes people grow up and they go their separate ways, their relationship changes. That's probably what it is. After all, they have children of about the same age. If they share similar family environments, they probably all profit by exchanging opinions. And because of that, their parent circle has been deep in conversation for a while now about the exams Jessica and I are going to be taking. Jessica, in order to escape the discussion of exams with the old bastard sitting on her left, purposely facing to the right, firing off topic after topic so as to not give him an opening. Moving on, let's look at the end opposite from Uncle Krause and the others. In the very last seat at the table, an old gentleman with a sturdy physique sat facing Kyrie-san. This is my first time meeting him. I'd only just been introduced to him, but it seems that he's Grandfather's personal doctor. a man called Nanjo. Apparently, he used to own a huge clinic on the nearby Nijima Island. They turned it over to his son and then began living a life of leisure at it in his old age. He's known grandfather since the very beginning, when the mansion was first constructed on the island, and they have a history of going back several decades. He might be grandfather's companion in his suspicious hobbies, but surprisingly, it seems that he's grandfather's chess partner. I see. The kind of hobby does seem very like our grandfather, with his love of Western style. You probably also call him the only person able to enter Okenjima who is neither a family member nor a servant. Listening on his conversation with the women's folks seated next to him, he gave the impression of a calm old gentleman. Considering he's managed to put up with our short-tempered grandfather for so long, I'm sure his big heart's nothing to laugh at. Still, even if he is a doctor, having someone from outside the Sashimi family attending the family conference is a little odd. In that fact, I imagine that grandfather's condition has grown much worse. It may even be one of the major topics of discussion at the family conference. George Aniki was just saying it too. For the past year, grandfather had been continually pronounced as having very little time left to live. It's awful to talk about. Grandfather's an extremely rich man. The time of his death, his wealth will suddenly be released, along with our parents' stomach acid, surely leading to some serious ulcers. With that kind of thing, the greater the number of ways it must be split, the more trouble will be caused splitting it. This kind of talk would probably also be included in the family conference. Oh well. As long as it has anything to do with us children. Finally, even though he's absent, let me introduce our grandfather. The person who should be sitting in that seat of honor is Ashirmi Akinza. It really sucks. Give everyone else in the family these weird names, but he himself is the one who is conservative as hell. If only his name was written in all the same characters of gold and vault. It lets us call him Goldsmith or something. But if he let us call him Goldsmith or something, that'd be totally awesome! As you can probably gather from all the talk about him, he's a frightening person with an extremely short temper. But I'm just his grandkid. I haven't met him since I was in elementary school 6 years ago. I don't remember even having been beaten by him, but it seems that our parents were raised with an iron fist. That earlier conversation between my dad and Uncle Crass. But we should go try to convince Grandfather to come out. It's undoubtedly funny if you take this into account. In order to tell Grandfather's story, you have to take yourself way back to before the Showa era, 1926 to 1989, to recount the tale of the Ashirmiya family. Until the Meiji, 1868 to 1912, and Taisho eras, 1912 to 1962, the Ashirmiya family was great and prosperous. They owned several spinning mills and were very wealthy people who merely had to fall about laughing while the money rolled in. And incidentally, Grandfather, as a member of the branch family, originally had nothing to do with the main family. Distantly separated from the house's inheritance, he apparently had very little involvement with the head house. However, during the Great Kanto earthquake in 1923, the mansion owned by the Ashirmiya family, Ashirmiya main family in Odawara, was flattened. The spinning mills in Tokyo were all burned down in a huge fire. The Ashirmiya family lost most of its wealth and family members in an instant. It then became a matter of who would become the heir to the main family. As it turned out, none were left except for Kinzo, who was as far removed from the main family line as they come. Kinzo himself later said that it was such good luck. It was as though fate itself had been turned upside down. With that, Grandfather's ordinary life did a 180. His chances with reviving the wealth that the dying Ashirmiya family had almost completely lost. Of course, just because you suddenly dump a task on someone doesn't mean they can do squat to accomplish it. I doubt the people around him were expecting much. But this is where Grandfather began to display his extraordinary talent and good luck. Grandfather used all the family funds and everything from the hair on his head to his toenails as collateral to borrow a massive amount of money. He had a gigantic stockpile of funds and immediately started a business. It was like tumbling down on a hill with a bike without any brakes, and then jumping onto a neighboring bike and then another one. Some crazy street performance. Probably anyone would have thought that grandfather had no business ability. But with an unbelievable amount of gold, an unbelievable amount of good luck and miracles, with coincidences piling up and every chance taken advantage of, before anyone knew it, he had forged powerful connections with the Allied forces. At the time, MacArthur and the GHQ were in charge of Japan. Grandfather, in the twinkle of an eye, began succeeding in business under the protection of the occupying forces, quickly becoming very rich. At this point, it was no longer luck but information that won the day. He must have made some seriously thick connections with the occupying forces. Grandfather knew about the emergency demands that would be made for the Korean War before they happened. No, more than that. He must have foreseen these special procurements and started penetrating those markets from the very beginning. History textbooks say that all of Japan made a large profit on the emergency demands of the Korean War, but that wasn't the case in reality. Only a very limited number of the super rich played the money game and made an easy profit. Most of the citizens were made poor, too. In other words, grandfather was an extremely lucky member of this group of winners. This all happened during the year 1950, I think. And since the year of the Great Kanto earthquake was 1923, this means that grandfather was able to receive the near-dead Ushirimiya family to a level even higher than it had been before, in the span of only 20 to 30 years. With that, you think that he would revive the main family in Odawara. But for some reason, he went into something crazy as buying an entire small island in the Izu archipelago. Buying an entire island is not something that you can ordinarily do today. However, grandfather was clever. He contacted the GHQ and applied for the establishment of a marine resource base, where the island as a business property, and then reneged on it and claimed it as his own plot of land. After the war, there were prevention measures against food shortages, and furthermore, he had a sponsorship of the GHQ, which meant that nobody could oppose him. Tokyo provided the land for the next to no money at the time. Tokyo later made repeated complaints for the land to be returned, but not much could be done due to the involvement of the GHQ, even though they'd been pushed into it. No doubt he'd bribed everyone there was to bribe. In the end, the city gave up in frustration. Grandfather, with considerable skill and blessed with good luck, managed to weather the stormy seas of that period, obtaining a vast fortune in his own island. Of course, it wasn't all luck. He was skilled with English, and this was cultivated by his Western obsession. It was by using that as a weapon that he was able to make inroads in the GHQ. A mansion was immediately built on the island. That would be his mansion. Grandfather, who had always loved the West, made this once uninhabited island, Rokenjima, a canvas upon which he could realize his dreams to his heart's content. The Western mansion that he had always imagined, overflowing with emotion, a beautiful garden with various roses had been planted, and a private beach where no one other than himself would ever be permitted to leave a footprint. To have this much would be every man's dream. After that, making good use of his huge fortune, they became a large stockholder in the extremely stable iron and steel industry, able to live an easy and comfortable life just using the dividends. Well, he's just that incredible. This kind of person normally gets portrayed after the fact as having the ability to foresee and predict the future or something. But grandfather denies all that, repeatedly saying he was simply blessed with extraordinary luck. Anyway, even a lord like that, with all of his dreams made real, can't help but grow increasingly odd when locked up on an island. Everyone knows that he's been obsessed with the West for a very long time. None of our parents really knows what his bizarre black magic hobby began. Perhaps his love of black magic began way back when he became fascinated with the West. Or, possibly, his miraculous stretch of good luck, which allowed him to revive the family, caused him to feel a mysterious power in himself. At some point, grandfather began to make the research of black magic his life's work. Filling his study with suspicious books, chemicals, and magical items as he became increasingly bizarre. These being the few remaining years of a person successful in life, those around him warmly watched over him, feeling the time was his to spend as he pleased. Or so I hear. But no way in hell that's true. Probably just driven away thinking that's disturbing. I don't want to get involved. Well, that war-torn period was a time for big gambles, with both opportunities and risks. Let's see grandfather do so well that if he'd been born in this time period. He would have had no opportunities, and probably have advanced like a chess piece from mandatory education to college at a leisurely pace. Never becoming more than an average company employee. If that had happened, he'd probably be sitting here with the rest of us, regaling us with his tales of his shitty boss. No, not here, in the dining hall of a mansion. Might have been on a table in some bar. If that were the case, I'm sure that this would have been a much more comfortable family conference. Alright, that's enough talk about the old geezer who won't pop off. More importantly, let's talk about this incredible lunch! I was already sold by the Sashimi Salad. Yoda-san is one hell of a chef. Plus, these fish were caught in the oceans near here, weren't they? The sashimi you get at the supermarket doesn't even come close.
Hey, quit it, Battler. Your upbringing will be exposed.
Sashimi salad?
Everyone let out a big laugh. Damn it. Say that even though you love the cheap pubs. You love these cheap pubs. Meh.
My job occasionally leads me to eat at some quite interesting places, but even compared to those, this is an excellent dish. I imagine you could have become reasonably well known in that field, Goda-san.
Hold on a second, I have to blow my nose.
Understandable. Have a good day.
Also, if you buy an island, can't you name it whatever?
Oh man, I'm gonna fail that test
title
super
rights
hard.
for it.
Island
If there's a whole
McIsland face.
different subset
Yeah.
for that,
Yeah,
we're
I
not
was
gonna
gonna
get
say,
into that right now.
alright, let's go.
I don't know about it much. I don't know too much about it, but at the famous hotel where he used to work, employee politics got pretty complicated and everyone split into factions. In the middle of all that, he apparently was forced to retire. And it just so happened that Mom had job offers for a servant out at the same time.
I'm yawning on. As Goda cleared away the empty plates, he began to recount his own eventful past, never losing his smile. The world is a difficult place. However, it's thanks to this that I was given a chance to display my skills as a chef once again. This time for the Ashurmia family.
I have to ask, is this like voice of reference to something, or is it just?
No, I just want to give.
He's just doing his.
I just want to give
voice
him a
for
fucking
it.
like big rambunctious like posh servant voice.
It also fits
Yeah,
him
there's
super
no
well.
Like the
Stand
guy
for
from
it,
The
it's just a
Simpsons.
voice.
Excuse me, I had a stroke.
Oh,
Well, I mean, like,
Although I also enjoy the smiles of a larger number of people. It's also extremely entertaining to be able to perform delicate work in order to please solely the limited number of people I have pledged to serve. All of this is thanks to the opportunity given to me by Madam. Yoda-san respectively bowed on his head towards that Nazi.
That is because among all of the applicants, you were the most talented. The decision was not based on personal feelings, but purely objective, so there is no need to thank me.
Oh man. Why does that Nazi always have to speak so frankly? When she spoke more gently, she might give off a different impression. Janet-chan and Kumasawa-san entered from the hallway with a servant cart.
Please excuse us.
Now then, let us move on to today's dessert. Yoda-san on the other has laid out the beautifully adorned dessert. It's true what when they say you have another stomach for desserts. After being fed all this delicious food, it totally filled me up. As I laid eyes on the dessert, my stomach started yelling more! I don't know much about desserts, but this looks really good. A white pudding-like substance was garnished with 2 shades of red sauce, and elegant rose petals adorned the dish. When you dine on such magnificent foods as this, first it is distributed in front of everybody, and the chef takes a moment to extol the virtues of his creation. Until he has finished, as a rule, you don't touch the food. However, Maria, who had no experience with these ceremonious rules, was excited by the beautiful and delicious-looking desserts, and jumped into the fray as soon as it was placed in before her. Auntie Rosa scolded her, calling it bad manners. But George responded by saying, Now, it's alright.
This one's sour. This one's sour.
Aren't that?
Bye.
Sour. The wrong one is this one.
Marie exclaimed as she sampled the two color sauces. What? There's the right one and the wrong one? Alright, I'll give it a go. Apparently two sauces were one sweet and one sour. Despite being bad manners, I also stuck my little finger in it and licked it. Whoa. None of them sour enough to make you pucker up. If were yellow, I'd have expected lemon. But I couldn't guess what kind of sourness would be red. I decided to ask Shannon, who was putting away the serving cart behind us. Shannon, what kind of sauce is this sour stuff? Shannon hesitated to speak. She was just sitting at the table and didn't really know. I think hesitating a bit much for that, though. Did I ask something wrong? Is something that we were better off not knowing about? But while Natsuki acted as though she had a headache, Kumasawa-san, who was sitting on the other side of the table, began to laugh with an "Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo!"
Kelly, you're muted, by the way.
Kelly, you.
Ellie, you're
Kelly. Oh, yep. Sorry about the mute. What do you think we made it out of? Oh, it'll shock you.
What? Period blood?
Huh? I don't have a clue. And Kumasawa Bachan, that laugh creeps me the hell out. So, what is it?
Don't tell anyone, alright? Let me borrow your ears.
Kumasawa-san leaned across from the other side of the table. He asked to borrow my ears, so I listened forward. I leaned forward, too. Yeah. Their interest caught, Jessica, George, Anarchy, and of course Maria, also put their ears closer.
Oh. Hey. Hi. Tell me.
Sour part is, well... Actually, it's squeezed juice from a mackerel.
What? This is like all the cousins at once, so I mean...
What?
What? Mackerel?
Nani? Oh god, that's gross.
Mackerel?
Don't be ridiculous! We all thought, horrified. Only Maria accepted it, nodding with an uh-huh.
What? Mackerels are sour. If you squeeze them, this comes out.
This is all the cousins going.
Maria never say that out loud to anybody
When
else.
Maria started clamoring that mackerels were sour, the adults were unable to contain their laughter. Oh, that's the adults too.
You've got it wrong. That's It's vinaigrette mackerel.
Auntie Rosa said to Maria in a small voice while turning red. And I remember it perfectly. Kumasawa-san was always this kind of character, wasn't she? You remember her tricking me about all kinds of things when I was as young as well. Among all of them, the most painful one must have been that one. The flimsy black stuff you get in Chinese food. The karage mushrooms. Told me it was penguin meat, and I went all around the school like a smartass telling everyone, didn't I? Kumasawa Bachan, you sure haven't changed. Even Maria's gonna believe now, right?
Kelly.
We need to get up.
Oh, it's just a joke. Koda-san will tell you what the sauce is in just a moment.
Goto-san looked a little put off for having his masterpiece laughed at in such a way. After clearing his throat once, he introduced the desserts to us. Well then, allow me to describe tonight's dessert. Based on the rose garden that everyone seemed to enjoy so much today, I finished the pina colada in a rose garden style. The rose petals scattered across were selected just now from that rose garden. For the sauces, I prepared 2 different reds for you. Strawberry and rose hip. Please enjoy the strawberry sweetness and the rose hip sourness in turn.
Rose hip?
Finally, the rose petals are mere decoration, so please set them aside before eating. With that said, please enjoy. Man, I also want to applaud before I've even eaten it. It's like when you take medicine, you know? It seems to work better when you read the instructions. Thanks to Goto-san elaborating on the details of the dessert. I feel like he's knocked it up another notch.
By the way, Battler, holy shit, is that real? When I was a kid, that was a superstition. If you read the instructions, you'll get better sooner.
Seriously, you call him meticulous, just talented. It was probably planned from the beginning, but he took a cue from our stopping in front of the rose garden earlier today.
Oh, rose hips have vitamin C.
He displayed an incredibly timely awareness of the season just by adding a few rose petals from that garden. This combination of sweet and sour was also exquisite. If it was just sweet, you'd get used to it and become bored halfway through. But by bringing in the sour sauce at that point, you get a really vivid taste. The sour sauce for geese. And then, once you return into the sweet sauce, all the sourness in your mouth is replaced with an enjoyable sweetness again. I'm sure everyone else felt the same way. Every time Goto-san passed by one of the seats, someone praised the taste in his creation. How is it, madam?
Splendid, as always. It is a worthy treat for our guests.
Fuck, I'm gonna yawn. I am most grateful for your words. Madam, did you know? For the rose hip has the ability to cure headaches. I thought you especially would appreciate it, so I had specially prepared.
Is that so? Thank you. See, didn't I tell you, Natsuhide-san? Rose hip works on headaches. So it seems. I can only hope it has some effect.
Wow! Yoda-san, I love you! Hey, later, whisper me how much compensation you're getting for this, won't you? If you sworn to silence, you can stick up some fingers instead. Let me know your price. Having your talent monopolized by this small island is sacrilege to humanity's cooking culture.
Word.
Wouldn't you be willing to display your talent to the customers at my company?
Hideyoshi-san, are you trying to recruit our Goda? How troubling. We'd better make some improvements to his salary or he'll get snatched away.
Yes, you really should. If you don't, he'll be lured away and you'll be stuck with 3 meals a day of Kumasawa-style mackerel cooking, won't you?
Kelly. I see it. Oh, that is indeed harsh. It seems someone's holding a grudge.
Everybody who has a voice roll. Everyone let out a huge laugh. According to Jessica, Kumasawa-san's mackerel jokes were a type of running gag. My parents had long since gotten used to it. Kumasawa-san often claimed that mackerel contained precious nutrients that could do things such as prevent aging and make people smarter. Seems that while it couldn't have stopped the outward signs of aging, it while preventing aging on the inside. Since she was still healthy enough to tell us these kinds of jokes at her age, that benefit must be the real thing.
Oh. Well then, if you excuse... prepare yourself for tonight's dinner. It totally doesn't have liver in it. I'll be cooking plenty of mackerel dishes for you to eat. I look forward to
it. We sure will. I want to treat myself to some vinegared mackerel tonight.
That sounds wonderful. I wonder if any delicious Japanese sake will be included.
Oh wait, that.
Hmm?
Yeah. Oh, it certainly will. How about some of our famous Rokijima mackerel liquor?
Everyone with a voice roll.
I don't remember inviting Wario to the island.
I'm here too.
Literally, wah ha 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 ha. What else are you gonna do?
With everyone to Kumasawa-san together with Shan, bowed and pushed the serving cart away. Amusingly, Goda-san, who looked just as though his stock had been stolen from him, took very seriously that tonight's dinner would actually be calf steak.
Kumasawa-san, thank you for doing that back there.
As she pushed the serving cart, Shannon bowed her head very deeply.
Oh, I haven't done anything that requires thanks.
Kumasawa played dumb, but it was no accident that she had thrown Shannon a lifeline. Back when Battler had asked for the details of the dessert, Shannon unfortunately hesitated. There may have been several ways to dodge the question, but all of them should have been delivered deftly. Shannon, who hesitated when hard-pressed for a response, was suffering because of this small weakness. If only Shannon, like Goda, had a little of the craftiness needed to skillfully shake off a mistake, her days would be a little more comfortable. This weakness is especially unfortunate considering how flawlessly she could handle her work. Of course, there were those who well understood Shannon's meek nature and her inability to remember to gloss over her mistakes.
She does have a thin neck.
Which is why Kumasawa came to her aid without hesitation.
I just heard from Genji-san that there's been a change to the afternoon shifts. I believe you were given a break until this evening. Oh, I am jealous. I can stop randomly enunciating words if that's getting annoying.
No, you're fine, go ahead.
Oh, I like it.
Get into the character,
Okay.
go nuts.
Alright, sure.
I'm sorry. I haven't checked the list of shifts yet.
Ah, yes. I was thinking I might start cooking some mackerel in the oven. If you don't mind, I would be happy if you would help out a bit before your break.
Ah, yes. I would be delighted to help.
Shannon, Kumasawa was like a mother among the servants.
We did it! Oh.
Hold on a second.
Orange.
Just give me a sec. Alright, there we go. The dining hall needed to be cleaned up, so we were chased out. Instead, tea would be served in the parlor. He'd be preparing the black tea that Auntie Rosa had brought for Aunt Nancy. Marie insisted that she would also want to drink the black tea, but was rejected by the old bastard, although the rest of us kids had to go play outside.
Barricade, why don't we all go out for a walk outside? Oh.
Go look for the roses or something. Yeah, but keep a close eye on the weather. The sky's still clear, but the weather reports keep talking about rain.
beach! Want the beach! Son of a beach!
Ah, isn't that a wonderful idea? Playing on a sandy beach isn't something that you get to do often, is it?
I guess not. Alright, let's go to the sandy beach then.
Come on! Let's go! Let's go!
Maria, be careful not to get your clothes wet. Your shoes, too.
Won't get wet.
The point of going to the beach if you don't get wet.
So obedient and cute. Badler-kun, make sure you keep an eye out for Maria-chan, okay?
Sure thing. Leave it to me.
Oh, you're pretty cute and obedient too when Kyrie asks you something, huh?
Gonna need you to never say that again, old man.
Why don't you try listening to me obediently for a change?
Heh! Hell no! Let's go, everyone! Come on! Children flew out of the parlor. They were replaced by Genji, who pushed a serving cart in and prepared the black tea. The parlor was filled with a sublime aroma which entertained everyone while they waited to appease their thirst.
Rudolph, you and your family all seem to get along so well with each other. Good for you. Oh, please, you have us beat on that front.
So true. Jessica-chan really has grown into an innocent little thing, hasn't she? It's all the fruit of your training, isn't it, Natsuhise-sama? Thank you.
Natsu answered coldly. With that, the conversation halted and the parlor became silent. Possibly because he couldn't stand it anymore. Hideyoshi broke the silence while performing an exaggerated gesture.
Still, they sure do grow fast. I thought they'd be kids forever, but they've been getting huge right before my eyes. And before I knew it, they've joined the ranks of us adults. Batlington, for one, is beyond recognition.
Chelly, how the fuck do you know those lyrics?
You underestimate the times that I listened to that song as a guilty pleasure.
What the hell? I listen to ICP.
How do the magnets work?
I don't know.
Miracles.
It's still my homies.
Kyrie.
His body has gotten much bigger, but he is still a child. Well, my husband is still a child as well. I wonder where the border between child and adult is. Ugh, I still don't feel as though I've grown up.
Isn't that pitiful? That's not something the mother of a child should say.
Shut the fuck up.
That's right. We're not children anymore. We are all adults. So I would like it if we could all hold an intellectual discussion without becoming emotional. Is that so hard?
Yes, as we all know, adults are all dead inside.
And even smiled with that sharp sarcasm, everything seemed to get more tense. Felt like the smell of tea at the time that had been prepared so carefully just flew out the window.
We have always strived to hold intellectual discussions. Your sarcasm is ill-placed sometimes. You have never changed in that respect.
Always strived, is it? My. I wish I could wrap those words up and send them to this room a few decades ago.
Hey, Noir, can you use your Kraus voice and say the super baby method?
The super baby method.
Yeah, there it is.
Brother.
Somebody clip that. That's awesome.
Snake, did you like my sunglasses?
What is this a reference?
It's not over yet.
It's a reference to Metal Gear Solid. He sounds like Liquid Snake.
Metal
a little
Gear.
bit.
Oh, he does.
Anyways, here we go.
Yeah,
Right,
what's this?
Rosa.
Rosa smiled with a vague expression. Whether she agreed or disagreed, she knew that she would earn the displeasure of either her brother or her sister. A bit of a worldly wisdom that she had needed to learn as the youngest sibling.
Oh, quit it, Aneki. We should enter into the main topic while the brats aren't around, right? Let us make that our intellectual discussion.
As Rudolph glanced over the faces of all present, some let out a slight sigh and some let a small look of resignation cross their face. This was unavoidable. This is the unavoidable true agenda. Ooh.
Last year, his life expectancy was estimated at about 3 months, which means he's already at -9. The Grim Reaper could come flying through the window in a blind panic
At any moment.
at any moment.
Natsui?
Sorry, I took a drink.
The family head is still in good health. Raising such an inappropriate topic while the sun is still bright. I must question whether you are in your right mind, Rudolph's son.
Still, Natsui-san. If we don't discuss this until something happens, it'll be too late. He's still healthy now, but we gotta figure out something while we still have some time left over. It's a kind of financial etiquette.
It seems as though everyone is concerned about Father. Dr. Nanjo, could we hear the details from you? It seems as though they are also hoping for that.
Anjo, standing by the window and staring out of the rose garden, let out a single cough when he realized that he was being called.
Dr. Nanjo.
Why is it... No, I didn't even open that. No, go away.
How is Father's condition?
Well, first, my estimate last year that he only had 3 months to live still appears to be making its present felt. So allow me to start by correcting you.
Sorry, moved my soda away from my laptop because that was a bad idea. No need to explain. You're saying that measuring remaining life is only a prediction, not a promise, right?
That's correct.
Oh, Jesus.
That is correct.
The audio right now.
I think it'll even out.
Because of that, I can offer no definitive answers to that question. You all, blah.
I'm running out, bro.
You all so often ask me of when he will pass away. A human's life is supported by their body and mind. If that body is weak, the situation becomes more dangerous. But if the mind is strong enough to compensate for the weakness, it is possible to maintain a state of remission.
So you're saying that even if his body is weak, his mind is still firm and spirited.
Kyrie, sorry, but please stay quiet for a while.
don't know about this fucking PNG of Rudolph. It looks like it reminds me of that one meme of that woman throwing a flashbang at you.
It looks like he looks like he's
Oh,
throwing
looks
something
like the
he,
Eminem.
No. You know what it is? It's whoa, plague upon you, and he's fucking throwing a rat at you like Eminem. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, somebody has to Photoshop Eminem's head onto Rudolph's body now.
Also, you think Callie?
better
That was
idea.
actually pretty funny. Just gonna say.
Alright.
Woof, that's good. Sorry. Bastard.
That is correct. Kenzo-san's body has been ravaged by disease. With him continuing to partake in that kind of strong liquor, on top of all that, I really must think.
So booze is the reason he's teetering on the edge. And booze is also the reason he's hanging on. Sounds like Dad, the heavy drinker.
Well then, Doctor. I know you can't give anything more than a prediction. But what do you think about Father's chances of living until this day next year? That is quite the rude question to ask about the head.
Nancy jumped on Ava, unable to hide her astonished expression. In response, Ava returned a defiant look. Hideyoshi noticed and tried to smooth things over with a forced smile.
Ah, Natsui-san, forgive her. Eva, try and choose your words a bit more carefully, alright?
I'm sorry. I was just so concerned over Father's condition. Is that so? I hadn't realized.
Dr. Nonjo, please tell us. For the sake of the beautiful family love of a daughter worried about her father's lifespan.
There's no other intentional origin or any other kind of emotional manipulation going on that's sinister that makes me want to violently throw up my lunch.
Cross laughed sarcastically, and Ava, smiling sweetly, returned an identical chuckle.
You ask whether he will still be healthy next year. But it's a very difficult question for me as a doctor. Well, I do think this remission will last for a while yet. If he suffers some kind of fit, there may be nothing we can do. After all, Rokenjima is a solitary island. It is not as though an ambulance can come rushing to save him. Normally, I would want to have him hospitalized in a large hospital on the mainland, but
Father stated he doesn't want his noble research interrupted. It seems he holds a grudge over the way we tried to force him out last year. Apparently, he strongly suspects that he'll be shut away in some hospital if he goes outside. And that's how things are now.
Has Dr. Nanjo been examining him?
Father trusts Dr. Nanjo. It seems he can be examined when in a good mood.
I can examine his condition, but if I try to recommend medicine or hospitalization, he refuses to listen. I've really only been able to look.
Reminds me of my dad.
It's true that there are people that hate doctors. Still, what a hassle.
Nanjo sighed deeply. The purpose of an examination was to determine what medical treatment was appropriate. Receiving an examination and then not following the advice given made the whole thing pointless.
Then, in summary, his expected life is still 3 months. And there's no way to guess how long he'll continue to live while still on the verge of death.
Rudolph-san, couldn't you be more discreet with your words?
Ah, sorry. I've always talked this way. Cut me a break.
I understand Dr. Nanjo's opinion. What do you think, Kraus-san?
To be perfectly honest, I have to disagree with Dr. Nanjo. I find it truly difficult to think of Father as a person so sick that he has only 3 months to live. His yell is as healthy as ever, and I still get the chills at the thought of his fists raining down on me. Pushing the task of caring for Dad solely on the shoulders of the eldest son is far from fair. Ha ha ha! In the next world, be born after me. Alright, let's return to our discussion. In that case, according to the impartial and neutral doctor's opinion, it wouldn't be odd for him to go any time. Sorry, Aniki, but I'd rather trust the opinion of a specialist. With that, I believe the discussion of Dad's fortune is no longer a premature topic.
Father's personal funds probably reach into the tens of billions of yen, right? Deja. But it's not as though all of that is neatly gathered as ready cash. It's not as simple as neatly cutting a birthday cake with a knife.
Interesting metaphor, Aniki. That's right. Sometimes strawberries or chocolates are placed on top of the cake, making it hard to cleanly divide it into equal parts. Taking that into consideration, I think it's important to first discuss how best to stick the knife in, don't you?
I truly don't understand you all. Even while the head is still alive, you're discussing the matter in loud voices as though he were already dead. Come now, don't you see how important this is? After all, when the time comes, the inheritance of his fortune must be carried out immediately, right? Moreover, the wealth of the glorious Ushinomiya house is vast. Don't you understand that a careful discussion is necessary beforehand? There's a huge difference between the assets of this family and your old one. How rude. The family I was born into has nothing to do with this.
As Nazi resentfully responded in a low voice, the already dark atmosphere grew even more hostile.
Give it a rest, Eva. Wait, is it Eva or Eva?
Eva.
Natsui-san, forgive us. Pardon her rudeness.
Oh, the golden nose.
Hideyoshi tried to smooth things over by glancing at both with a forced smile, but it resulted in making the hostility between Eva and Natsuhi more intense.
Fight!
I need to get out of Hideyoshi voice.
It seems that I would just be in the way if I stay any longer. Please excuse me.
Nanjo rose from his seat and exited the parlor. It may well have been a normal act of courtesy expected of an outsider, but even so, his back was watched by several glances, envious of his ability to escape. After the doctor had exited and his footsteps had disappeared into the distance, Kraus recrossed his legs.
So let me see if I understand your point of view correctly. Father's remaining life is short. You want to quickly enter into a practical conference concerning the distribution of the inheritance. Why are you so eager, I wonder? Certainly, as you say, estimating and distributing the Oshiramiya family's wealth is no simple task. In that case, shouldn't we carefully and deliberately calculate? It seems to me that you're all impatient to split up the cake tonight. That's true, isn't it, Rosa? Is something making you impatient?
It's not that we're impatient, but a decision between siblings is essential. It doesn't matter when. But if Father's condition is worsening and the day is drawing near, discussing the matter beforehand isn't what I would call impatient.
Rosa sneaked a glance at Ava and Rudolph. As the youngest daughter in the family, being cross-examined by the eldest was harsh.
Oh. Is that your true opinion? I didn't expect that the most honest and pure-hearted of the siblings would say something like that. I wonder if those two told you to say that. Quit it, Anarchy. Rosa's a sibling just like the rest of us. She has a fair right to Dad's inheritance. It's obvious she would be interested, right? After all, Dad'll definitely die, and that's not something that'll happen in the distant future. On the contrary, Anarchy, you're far too relaxed. It seems almost as though you would like nothing better than to turn the discussion away from the distribution of the inheritance.
What do you mean by that? Are you trying to accuse my husband of something?
Calm down, Natsui-san. Listen to what we have to say.
Nissan, I hear these are good times nowadays. That's right, since last year the yen has just been going up and up thanks to the unprecedented boom in prosperity. It seems that it's no longer a dream that the dollar will reach 100 yen. Also, the ruling party says that it will establish a health resort maintenance law by next year. At this moment, resort development companies across Japan are running about trying to gather as much capital as they can.
You know your stuff.
Owie.
Soon, Japan will see an unprecedented boom. Just like when Father revived the Ushiramiya family, another case like the Korean War demands. The people of Japan have worked at a frenzied pace, realized vast economic growth, and become the most prosperous people in the world. They're enjoying the height of their prosperity. Private spending has increased, and institutions that can profit from that can make easy money in this era. The people's needs are no longer merely the essential 3 electrical appliances. Places to ski, to golf, public pools, resort hotels and theme parks. Have you gone to Disneyland, which opened just a few years ago?
What?
Disneyland, let's go!
I'm going to
Disneyland.
We have Monkey Mouse and Doofy Doo and
If there's no Malky, this shit ain't Delsny.
There we go.
Yeah, man, I really hated when the Moose bought Stow Wars. Oh man, I'm trying to think of a play on words for Star Wars.
Let's not forget about Donald Duke's girlfriend Darsley.
BT dubs do not look up Disneyland.
Why not?
You get nothing but Umi spoilers.
Oh, great!
Holy shit!
Remember,
I tried searching it up. I thought it would be
remember,
something else.
we will tell you what to look up.
Didn't know you'd get spoilers.
Mini pick.
Damn,
What an excellent theme park that is.
Oh, that's a super spoiler. Fuck. Alright, here.
I'm going to Disney World.
In that place,
I'm going to
even in a-
Elevator Land.
Escalator Land.
Escalator Land. Sorry.
In that place, even an adult can be a kid and have fun with his family.
Kraus, isn't that chalk or
Chonky cheese
cheddar?
toys. Chonky toys.
The old
Chuck E.
era
Cheese.
where the virtue was to selflessly devote yourself to your country while failing to consider your family is ending.
Imagining a discussion between Kraus and Rudolph, where Rudolph is like, yeah, chunky cheeses, that eatery. No, Rudolph, you misunderstand. Chunky
I heard the
Cheeses
Five Nights-
is an entertainment center.
I heard
Oh, God.
Very Fast Bears
Alright,
locations
yeah.
are getting good.
Now, as the most prosperous people in the world, we can finally accept that.
Cross me, son. Your foresight is something else. When I heard this several years ago, I thought it was ridiculous. But see, when I heard about the G5 Nations Plaza Accord, that changed. The yen's getting stronger and stronger, and the price of land will skyrocket soon, I bet. The day that Japan becomes an economic center of the world isn't far off. You have to be very forward-looking. You have to have a very forward-looking view. There's no mistaking that at least.
I feel the same as Hideyoshi-san. Anarchy, you can read into the next decade of history. I might need a second, my dog just threw up.
Understandable. We
Oh.
can take a brief break.
Yeah.
Never
Yeah,
cool when a dog throws up, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
hard to
my dog
clean up.
has that problem too. He'll just drink too much water real quick, then I'll throw it up. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
Also, hey, random funny shit aside, did you guys see that fucking that Pokemon-esque game that got announced recently?
Yeah, I did. What the hell is that?
That is my new favorite video game ever. Seeing all these, seeing all these cute creatures
hang on,
manufacturing.
Con, I'm gonna link it.
No, here.
Yeah, I got it.
have it up right now. Holy shit.
Pal World.
Pal World.
Look at.
I like how everyone's hyped for all the games that are not Pokemon.
You gotta make your Pokemon work in factory.
It's almost like Game Freak is a bunch of incompetent
Oh
hacks.
my god! At some of the fucking gifs.
I know, I showed it to
Or
Google
even-
Pokemon, they were like what the hell?
Oops, I fucking.
fuck is this?
I flashed,
Oh
I
my
flashed
God,
my
my
resume on
heart,
screen for a second.
Quiet. Do you want to build a pyramid? You can have a large number of pals work on the construction. Don't worry, labor laws won't be applied to pals.
Here, fucking. Like, look at this shit! Dude, it's sniping the Pokemon. You're flying the Pokemon. They're doing labor. They're manufacturing. They're manufacturing
Pokemon with guns.
I mean, Geodudes canonically worked in factories.
You have a Pokemon that works as a fucking riot shield.
Oh my god! This is like Pokemon taking it to its most like extreme dark without actually like having.
It has multiplayer. You can trade
Yo,
and battle your
let's
Pokemon.
stream it,
dude. This is day one purchase on fucking site. On site.
Oh my god!
This is my new favorite video game, and it's not even out yet.
Here's another one. Poaching and crime. Endangered species pals live in the hunting prohibited areas. If
Why are you
sneak
reading
and
the
catch
thing?
them, you'll get tons of money. It's only illegal.
Also,
if
I
you-
made the thing a live general. I posted
It's
it.
only illegal if you get caught!
Does it actually say that?
Peter's gonna have a field day with this game.
I know for a
man.
fucking fact that there's almost definitely a developer literally in this game who's like, hey, I got the Pokemon patch ready to go whenever, so you can have Pokemon.
I like the,
yeah, they would do that.
Gonna make it
I like the
awkward.
description of the world is full of dangers such as food shortages, harsh weather, and illegal
Fucking
poachers.
look at
You
this.
must be prepared to do anything, even if you want to survive, even if you need to consume pals sometimes.
Fucking look at this shit. She's aiming her M16 at the fucking
These are the same guys who did fucking Craftopia? That makes too much sense.
Wait, did they didn't finish Craftopia though?
No, they're still working on it. It's just in early access.
Then why are they?
They just fucking announced Pokemon with
It might-
guns.
I actually don't know
love
what
this idea.
Craftopia is. I'm looking
I
at
think
it
we
now.
can all agree that PETA is gonna try to demolish this thing into the fucking
Oh, I
ground.
think
and
they're
when it
waiting.
tries to be
I feel like
fucking
Nintendo would go after it more because like those
They
Pokemon
can do shit.
look fucking.
Alright, here. For the record, Joshi, cut right here in the recording so we're not talking about fucking pals or whatever the fuck it's
No,
called.
we are. I'm gonna keep it in.
Yeah, let's keep it in. It's funny.
we're all
Okay,
going
so
to
I just looked up.
No, actually, I'll make
Craftopia.
it the beginning of the session.
Alright,
I just looked up.
you know what? I insist then you need to include somewhere a fucking PNG of a Pokemon holding an AK-47 or some kind of gun.
Yes!
While we're talking about it.
No. It has to be one of those weeb AK skins from Call of Duty Cold War. Let's hold that.
No, it has to be a normal gun. It's
So I
funnier
just
if
looked
the
up
Pokemon with a
Craftopia,
normal gun.
and
Okay.
Yeah, just give Pikachu an AK-47. We've just
I
solved
saw-
gaming problems.
a guy just fucking hit a cow with a bat, just a straight up cow.
Alright, hey. Rudolph. You gotta get back to
That keen sense
I
surely
was
came
joking
from
about the
Dad.
Pikachu with the gun!
Hmm.
I was just joking!
It's incredible!
And now we will
Thanks,
move
Smosh.
onward. And now we will
We have to move
onward.
on.
It's incredible. However, unlike Dad, there have been cases where the timing of your predictions have been mistaken, haven't there?
I was only joking about giving Pikachu a gun!
I mean, if you're gonna ask me to Google something, I'm gonna Google it.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Big titty vampire goth girl.
What?
Right now
I'll
we're
get some
talking-
Lady D
Not
in a
right
second.
now.
We don't
Let's
do
talk
that
about
during
redheaded
stream.
milfs right now, like
Nissan, believe Japan will definitely finish the economic boom. Go on.
Okay, I got it. Nissan, believing that Japan will definitely face an economic boom. You have been launching resort projects everywhere, and almost all of them continue to fail. Well, I'm sure that era you predicted is arriving. It seems that you misread the timing of that boom. You were too early. And then you hurriedly tried to sell everything off, and as a result, opened the wound even further. If your nose was really so reliable as you predicted the coming of a boom, then there should be no reason for you to sell off your property. Isn't this proof that you don't trust your own ability? How rude. Are you trying to insult my husband? No. Yeah.
Natsu's forehead creased as she rose from the sofa. Ava, paying this no heed, stared at Kraus with a confident smile. Kraus, who also maintained his confident appearance, told Natsu to sit down.
Sit down. Please stop, Natsuhi. My little sister is incapable of speaking any other way, and always has been. Calm yourself a little. Your headache will get worse.
Proof that you have no talent is also right here. After all, Nissan, weren't you all excited about turning this island into a resort? Building a wonderful resort hotel, beautifully maintaining the garden. I'm just an amateur and don't pretend to understand, but you must have used an significant amount of money, right? What are you trying to say? My husband's business has nothing to do with you.
Actually, that's not true, Natsuhi-san. Rokenjima is not Anaki's. It's Dad's. The hotel that was constructed is Anaki's, of course. If you like, you can charge us lodging fees tonight. Right, Rosa?
Well, if what I have on hand will suffice.
If I can make it into a resort, the island's financial worth will rise. It is true that expenses are piled up, but we can hope to have a large harvest in the future. When that happens, it should prove to be beneficial to all of you as well.
I understand that. If the value of this island rises, that will increase our shares when we distribute the inheritance. Of course, we won't ask you to physically divide the island and the mansion into 4 equal parts. We're quite happy to settle this with whatever you calculate its financial worth to be.
If you understand that much, what about my business makes you so dissatisfied?
That you're running it.
We aren't dissatisfied, we're uneasy. In the first place, Anarchy, when do you plan to open that hotel? Keep this up and every square inch of it'll be covered in our grubby handprints.
That's right. It's an important tool for your business, isn't it? I understand that you can't keep it locked up the moment you open it for business. Buildings go bad if you don't use them and air them out every once in a while. Even so, it's a bit extravagant for a guest house that we only use once a year. Wouldn't you say, Rosa? Yeah, that's right. If it's that wonderful, I'm sure it will become quite popular once you open it. Oh, the hotel you mentioned earlier was referring to the guest house. I see.
Hell of a building, isn't it? Just as Rosa said, I'm sure it would become popular if he were to open it.
The lodging may have been guided to and not been constructed with the intent of building a guest house. It was originally constructed as a resort hotel. However, even though it had been completed 2 years ago, there was absolutely no schedule for it to be opened.
Nissan, it's just like all of your enterprises. Your attention and planning are both fabulous. Then it always becomes unable to maintain itself part way and ends without being able to collect any profit. Much like your marriage.
It was brilliant of you to spot that it was a waste to use this island only as a place to live. I think that turning it into a resort which could use things like marine sports, fishing, or honeymoons to attract customers was a pretty good plan. If I were the oldest son, I'm sure I too would have racked my brains over what kind of profit I could get off of this island.
But 2 whole years have passed since you finished building, right? After 2 years, you still don't know when you'll be able to open it? Where is the managing company you've entrusted it to? Impertinence! That is not my husband's fault. There has just been some trouble with the company that my husband contracted with. No matter how you look at it, we are the victims here.
That's the thing, though. This company that Krasny-san hired, I haven't heard many good rumors about it, you know?
One sec.
So she's the wife of him, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
They're married.
Hideyoshi is the male wife to Ava.
Wow, it
Let's
seems like
not beat around the bush.
Mansplain, man wife, gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss.
it seems weird that, it seems weird that this guy seems like a good guy, and yet he kind of married a bitch.
How dare you?
And that happens, dude.
Yeah, it does.
What do you mean? Ava's not a bitch.
Look, she
She's a
has the
wonderful
fan.
lady.
How can you say no?
Dude, she's wearing a strap on her shoulder and she has a literal tattoo of the family crest on her left arm.
Yeah. Anyways.
Let's not beat around the bush. The project disintegrated midway due to non-payment, embezzlement, and other troubles. Did you think the rumors wouldn't reach our ears? I've been collecting evidence. I don't know what evidence, or what kind of evidence you found, but it's all baseless. As new members in the sightseeing business, it is necessary to lay the groundwork with various people. It's also important to discuss how trustworthy the other party is. This is nothing more than taking some time to meet that end.
I'll accept that in my rashness the hotel was completed too early. However, we are not paying maintenance costs. It's a slow and vital strategic arrangement. Yeah, I bet. More like you want to sell it, but can't. There's no reason for anyone to buy such an extravagant hotel on an isolated island with nothing on it and no established sightseeing routes. Besides, what's happening with the loans you gathered for this project?
It might not be costing you maintenance, but the borrowed money you can't return is just going up and up. Sorry, Krasny-san. I investigated the development plan for this island a little. I gotta be honest, I've not heard anything good either.
Hideyoshi-san, I'm sure that only looking at the current financial condition could lead you to that impression. However, that is a prior investment. I have no choice but to admit that my prediction was mistaken, and that up until now several liabilities have been created. However, the times have finally caught up with me. I will soon regain everything that I've lost up to this point. No, actually, all of the investments I've made out until now will finally return to my possession. That's right, just like throwing away a small fry, which then becomes a salmon, they will come back even bigger than before.
Sure, I'm with you on that. Starting soon, the resort business will probably see an unprecedented boom. Though, who knows whether it'll be enough to bury all your liabilities. But I gotta ask, Krasny-san. After all the crushing defeats you've suffered so far, who in the world supplied you with the funds? That's a heck of a sum we're talking. Enough to cover your massive debt, right?
What are you trying to say, Hideyoshi-san?
Ah, Natsui-san, please don't get mad. We've done our research, see? We looked into it, trying to see who could have loaned Krasny-san. Who's lost all his battles thus far, enough to support his recent massive, gutsy investments.
And the result? No one. There is no backer. The iron rule of the money roulette is to bet against the unfortunate. And Anarchy, you're a well-known unfortunate in this neighborhood. Surely this era seems set to welcome an economic boom, but when we asked who, with respect to Anarchy's failures, would find him worthy of funding, there was no one.
So you see. Where did you raise that money from? That's what we started to question next.
Oh. Isn't this an interesting story? And?
Dear, how long do you plan to ignore these abusive remarks?
Sit down, Natsuhi-san. Let me be blunt. Anarchy, you've been diverting Dad's private funds for your own business. There's almost no doubt. If we made some mistake, please feel free to explain it for us.
Rudolph, this isn't diverting funds. This is embezzlement, isn't it? It's a genuine crime that can be criminally prosecuted. This rudeness in the extreme. How can you face the successor to the Urashirama family and level these wild accusations? Hey, they aren't wild. They're right on the money, aren't they? He wants to make his business succeed so he can recover his losses, but his debt is actually growing. All he wants is to get himself out of the Holy's dog by making an even bigger gamble than before. If he had funds close at hand, it's only logical that he'd try to use them. Let me say it clearly, Nissan. What you are doing is embezzlement. You are betraying our father. I imagine that we will leave you to the mercy of the courts after this is all over. Do you think that those people will kindly agree to address you as successor to the Urashimiya family head, huh? Of all the things, saying he's betraying the head is not something I can overlook. You no longer have the right to darken the doors of the glorious Ushiromiya house. Leave this place immediately. Go on! Get out!
Natsu, who had already reached the limits of her anger, shouted at Ava in a rage. She then pointed alternatively at Ava in the hallway. Alternatingly at Ava in the hallway, indicating that she should leave. Ava took out a folding fan and fanned herself with it, glaring maliciously at Natsu as though silently daring her to repeat what she just said. However, her mouth was still smiling, curved into the shape of a crescent moon. In that unpleasant silence, Rosa gulped.
Hey, Natsuhime-san. Who do you think you are speaking to? I am speaking to the extremely impolite sister of my husband. As the person in charge of family affairs, I cannot overlook any more of this. In charge of family affairs? I do that too well. Shut up. You sorry excuse for a wife.
Ava folded the fan with a snap and rose powerfully. Compared to the elegance and playful behavior she had shown until just now, she was unimaginably aggressive.
How foolish. You leave. You would tell me, Ushiromiya Ava. Me, Ava, the third ranked in the Ushiromiya family hierarchy, who was granted the left shoulder of the head, to leave. Learn your place. And then look in the mirror at your shabby figure. Where on your clothes is the wing? Where are you permitted to wear the one-winged eagle? Your only purpose was to birth a successor to the Yoshiromiya family. Know your place, bitch.
While Ava's face grimaced unattractively, the words pierced Natsu's heart like claws, and painfully twisted in. There were 100 ways Natsu wanted to respond. However, her anger and sorrow crushed her throat, and not one of them managed to make it to her mouth. The anger which had lost any place to go became a single hot tear which slowly dripped down.
What? If you have something to say, please say it now. Come on.
Ava faced her with a provocative gaze. However, Natsuhi's fist was shaking. She trembled all over, unable to do anything. Kraus quietly broke the powder keg tension.
Natsuhi, leave your seat. You should cool off your head.
Natsuhi, resenting the fact that her husband had not come to her aid, shifted the focus of her attack.
Don't you understand what they're saying about you? These people are basically calling you a traitor to the father. We protect the glory of the Yoshiromiya family. We put forth effort day in, day out, striving to be paragons of nobility in order to take over that glory from father. Then this inexcusable rambling tramples it all underfoot. And you, why don't you talk back to them? I'm talking back because you won't, but you have just been relying completely on me. And now you are telling me to go cool my head? It's always me. I am always thinking so seriously about this family's affairs, and you've just taken that and...
Natsuhi could no longer hide her tears. She flew from the room in that state. After that, all that remained was a somewhat embarrassed mood about the parlor. The sound of footsteps grew distant and silence returned. Kraus shrugged his shoulders slightly.
I apologize for my wife. She's always been bad at controlling her emotions. I too have a hard time with her.
Bruh.
Fucking hell, Kraus.
If you've got someone like that running things, you must be on the edge constantly as well.
Kelly, you're needed.
Mike's muted, by the way.
I see it. Madame.
It's nothing. Leave me be.
Natsuhi flew to her room and bent over the bed, wailing. Those heart-wrenching sobs reached Kumasawa in the hallway.
Oh, heart-rending, Madam Natsuhi. There's a deep enmity between her and Eva-sama. Explaining their relationship is very draining for a woman such as myself.
Oh fuck.
It looks like I'm going to do it anyway. The Ushiromiya family holds its bloodline in high regard. If a daughter marries into another family, they would normally be removed from the family hierarchy. So, under normal circumstances, Eva-sama should have been removed when she married Hideyoshi-sama. However, this was nobody's fault. Adam definitely bore no guilt. There's no way to say it other than calling him a whim of God. Osama and Natsuhi-sama were not blessed with children for some time. And of course, this was the patriarchal Ushiromiya family. The wife was just a tool to create an heir. It's a baby factory. That wife could not fulfill her only duty. She would not be treated as human. It is painful to remember how much the master tortured Madame during that time. During that time, Eva-sama and Hideyoshi-sama's wedding was discussed. Eva-sama was sly. Taking advantage of Madame's inability to become pregnant, she gained the favor of the master. Inspired him to allow her to marry and give birth to a successor herself, making sure to avoid transferring her name out of the Ushiromiya register. This was a vast difference in the Ushiromiya hierarchy between Madame, who married into the Ushiromiya family, who was treated like an outsider, and Eva-sama, who was related to the family by blood and whose husband took on the Ushiromiya name. Now I know what it's like when someone posts tits while you're reading. Beyond that, Eva-sama was the first to give birth, and much more, to a boy. Perhaps you can now understand how much weaker Madame's position was compared to Eva-sama's. I'm sure Madame was tormented by the thought that if only she had gotten pregnant earlier, Master would have accepted Eva-sama's request to keep her last name after marriage. Eva-sama would not have been permitted to act as arrogantly as she had today. However, that was not Madame's fault. All the blame lies with God's whims. Stork would deliver Jessica-san. Even so, Madame won't allow herself to see things this way. Probably can't help but cry bitter tears at her inability to carry out the duties expected of a wife. Ah, how heart-rending. And to be a baby factory. Okay, I'm done. So. I can't do anything but watch over her from the shadows.
And that's it for the night.
Hallelujah! Damn, no canon.
This lady is literally saying it's terrible that she can't be a baby factory.
So, by the way, that clock turned backwards.
Yeah, because we're going back
because now we're talking about Battler and the rest of them.
Yeah.
Alright,
that's it for the night.
So, I'm probably oh, B's gone. I guess we're not doing that test today.
What? Huh?
What test?
No, that's for when
that's
we
for
finish.
after it's done.
Oh. Okay.
By the way, y'all motherfuckers, that scene was important. I hope you were listening.
I'll be real. I'll be very real.
Oh, holy shit.
I was talking about my monologue. That was important.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about. Orange, the fucking this shit's exploded in the fucking Umi project.
I'll be real. I was zoning out. I was zoning out a lot.
It was very important.
I mean, it was. Yeah. I mean,
they're not gonna
I know
explain
about
it
the
again.
whole embezzlement shit.
I might need to rewatch this a bit because my focus was gone.
I mean, I get it. It's kind of boring, but it's also pretty.
It's not that. It's that I have
It's
I
better
have
than
a
the
medical
fucking Angel
condition.
Mort shit back in Higurashi.
This sets up shit.
Yeah.
Like I just
literally the siblings are at each other's throats because of fucking financial issues.
But yeah, like
other weird shit.
Like stuff is happening.
I'm just really bad. Like my attention span is just terrible. So it's not that it was boring. I was actually quite interested, but it takes more
Cough,
than being
cough,
interested.
Mr. Roboot, can we skip this scene and go to Battler and the people on the beach?
It takes more than being interesting to keep my attention. Like I need to be gripped.
Yes, gripped with
not?
the horny.
No, just
like Joshy. I'll fully admit this part of it. This part isn't quite that gripping because
Yeah.
like, look,
But, like,
okay,
it's setting up, though.
Joshy. Yes, but you have the hindsight because you've already read it. You know why this is super important.
But even when I read it the first time, I was actually interested
The
because we were
stakes
setting
are
shit
not
up.
established.
I do feel like I was thinking, yeah, this is probably important, but just my focus is bad.
Yeah, it's
If anything,
like
I
with
feel
phone,
like
it's
the beach scene
understandable.
is relatively
Like,
kind of
I
nothing.
understand.
I mean, even the beach scene is pretty important, all things considered.
I'll admit, I've got notes over all of this, and a lot of what I'm figuring out right now is pretty interesting. And I've got some stark questions for you guys.
Well, we will answer them to the best of our abilities.
Yes.
Ah,
I
go
guess
right
this,
ahead.
This is the con question segment, I guess.
Sure, let's hit it.
Alright then. First question I have to go ahead and ask for. If most of the descendants of Kinzo, his kids, if he went ahead and had a normal relationship with any other woman, they would have all had black hair at that point, right?
I'm gonna tell. Okay.
Yeah, but this is anime.
Con, I'm gonna tell you right now. The hair color has literally nothing to do with the mystery as a whole, and I will tell you that with certainty.
I will say that we have
He's only one woman,
Crimson,
and
please
you
one
know
at a
who it
time.
is.
Crimson. Please let the people who have finished Umineko answer.
But yeah, don't worry about the hair color thing. I wonder every day why Rudolph's hair isn't red like Battler's.
So, yeah, to answer that, even in the spoiler chats, we have had long conversations of what the fuck is up with Ava, Krause's, and Rudolph's fucking hair, because they're not matching. Also, Rosa. I keep forgetting Rosa. Like, they're all
easy to
wildly
forget Rosa.
Everyone's hair is just for recognizability.
Well,
minus
there is
Jessica,
that.
who actually dyed her hair blonde.
Alright, let's see question number 2.
Well, aside from Kinzo being a butt clown.
He's a tier 3 sub to Beatrice.
Wait, like, is your question why is Kinzo a butt clown?
No. Something about his backstory just doesn't add up correctly about the island. I don't know why, but I just have this feeling that's not something real. Like something else happened on the island.
Oh, probably. That's why it's a mystery,
We will
yeah.
neither confirm or deny anything that might have
Rather-
happened on the island in the past.
Anyway, I have to go because I have to work tomorrow. But it's gonna be fun.
sorry.
Alright.
Go ahead.
Get your rest, Shelly.
I also did some research about what a rondo is. I remembered hearing the word before from general music study. It's like fleur-lys.
Yeah.
ABACA. Often called an episode.
So to get Con, I'll explain that a little bit. Rikushi loves using music terminology for this stuff. Like in the
Music terminology, huh?
Like in the fighting game, they literally go the first movemento, the second movemento.
So by that logic, we'd be in the prelude.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Also, it works because this game has a fucking banger ass soundtrack.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of there's a lot of emphasis. Like there's a lot of like even in like the marketing of the thing, there's a lot of importance put on the music because it's literally called a sound novel. It's not just a visual novel.
Yeah. Almost like if the music was actually composed by people and not just a bunch of stock music Mirikushi grabbed off like stock music websites and slightly pitch shifted.
Are you sure?
I,
that a thing?
Shout out
Feels
to
like
Donna.
they're
I
setting
thought
up
that was a
house
thing with
and
some
murder.
of the original soundtrack, was that it's
It-
like pitch shifted royalty-free stuff.
Yup.
Would it be too much of a stretch to say that they're trying to set up Kraus as a possible murderer?
Maybe.
I mean, like, if you look at it, all the parents have perfect, like, motives for killing. Like,
Oh yeah.
I think it's
yeah, like
establishing
fucking,
motive.
it's
definitely.
money.
I
like,
also mean as of currently. Kraus is the one being given most motive as of right now. Failing business, possible embezzlement of his family funds, and his wife is just officially unaware of all of this. He has a motive and a good set time right now. The problem is I don't think he's gonna do anything involving it. He's a coward.
Maybe.
Maybe.
We can either confirm or deny anything. Don't worry.
Okay, good. You are recording this because this is actually really good.
Yeah, no, like
content.
this is good stuff. This is good stuff.
Like I said, I've been taking notes.
That's good.
That's good.
I will say to I guess expand on the motive stuff a little bit more in the following scenes involving the parents. They will go a little bit more into quote unquote motive for some of the characters. There's a lot more setup. There's a lot more setup in the wings. Don't worry.
We will be cutting back to the family talking angrily about things.
Mm-hmm. Don't you love when your parents
No,
argue all the
that's
time?
actually a more interesting prospect here. Their dynamic says a lot about how Kinzo treated them as children as well. Obviously, the abuse and all the constant crazy negativity must really have altered their minds and their heads.
Possibly.
So,
Well,
would
for
you say
starters-
that Kinzo is possibly a really shitty parent?
Yes, I'm saying Kinzo is a terrible, shitty parent. That one's pretty obvious from day one.
Also, one thing I did point out was the story was like, Kinzo's like, "Oh, Bachelor is a fool who can't inherit who disowned the Ushiramiya name," and they literally just explained, "Hey, Kinzo was able to be as successful as he was because he disowned the Ushiramiya name and got away from there." Pretty much.
And then reclaimed it afterwards when they all died.
Can I point a small detail that I only recently noticed about Kinzo and between Battler and Kinzo?
Yo, what up?
Their suits are similar colors. Like Orange's like coat outline is like obviously more like what was it tannish.
Just
orange.
Fuck!
It's true. I am Battler.
Battler's suit coat and like pants are obviously like more tannish, but like what is it? It's very clearly similar, like in what it's like there, I guess. Yeah, like clearly, even like the undershirt like is like the same red.
Oh yeah. Here I can pull up the full body of the PS3 artwork.
There was also something else that caught my attention. If anybody else is willing to go ahead and listen.
Yeah.
Remember back in Higurashi when Rika was going on and on about miracles and the magic of them? Hang on a sec, my dog wants uppies. Who's a good boy, Riri?
Also, I posted the fucking full art of Kinzo, and I don't know, my first instinct when I saw the one-winged eagle on his pant leg, I was like, why is he pissing down his leg?
His legs look kind of weird, but I think that's the
same.
Yes, like
For an entire few lines.
Battler
He was
post orange.
He was completely going on and on about how making and believing in a miracle can make it happen. That stupid mic! God damn it! Hold on. Fuck. Ugh. Trying to sound smart. Ugh. Fuck. Okay. Find where. Right here.
To answer the Higurashi stuff.
Sorry, I wanted to go ahead and say.
Oh, go ahead.
He was talking about coins to gamble, and that he was going to go ahead and throw the rest of them off to the demon's gambit, or to Rika, and that just makes me think. There could be a slight possibility that Rika in any world fragmenting could be involved in this. Is that a possibility?
We can neither confirm nor deny.
We will neither confirm or deny the existence of magic.
Yeah.
And
we never
things like Rika appearing in this story.
He has fucking grimoires. I think it's safe to say that there's some kind of creep magic involved, along with there being a witch.
I will say though, for all intents and purposes, this entire show is kind of built as sort of an answer to Higurashi in a certain way. So it's natural that he would make callbacks to it.
Something I do wonder is we never really found out who that Frederica Burncastle person was.
Isn't it like just implied that it was?
It's just implied that it's time traveling older Rika.
God.
Wait, Robot.
What are you gonna say?
What?
What are you gonna say, Robot?
What are you gonna say?
What are you gonna say?
It after the stream.
Okay.
Okay. Good thing to leave it off on, but alright. Anyway, so yeah, it's like, what were you saying about Burncastle? What?
Well, like, to answer, we didn't really get much information from Burncastle from fucking, what was it? Or Frederica Burncastle from fucking,
that was just sort of like
Higurashi.
I think a lot of like what Frederica Burncastle was, at least based on like that little last thing by the end, is like, hey, you can make your own Higurashi fragment. Follow your dreams, and that's just him and fucking Rikushi doing crossing his arms and smiling like a smug bastard.
So, like, yeah, I think it's just like implied that what was it? Frederica Burncastle is a like Rika in Higurashi. Because like at the end, like clearly the person giving like the end monologue is like, what was it? The like I get to do. Fucking Zaz is here. I keep fucking forgetting. Sorry, Zaz.
Shit, I forgot too.
Yeah, it's okay. He's been pretty much spoiled on a lot of shit. But like, what was it? I think they make it like, especially at the end when it's like, I think it's very clearly during that one moment with that past event. Well, I'll try to keep vague because Zaz is like that's hinted that's supposed to be like Burncastle, and they look a suspicious amount like Rika.
Also, I remember hearing that in the past that Burncastle, if I look her up, it's gonna be spoilers. I don't know if that's for Higurashi or Umineko, and I'm not gonna ask. I'm just gonna not look it up.
But guys, I just realized this. It's gonna fuck your mind.
What are you gonna say? Run it by us first. No, run us by DM us.
DM us. DM the people who know first.
Also, I find it interesting that Kenzo literally said if he believed hard enough and he tried and put all his luck into it, even he could create a miracle. I don't know if that's just... God, I forget his name. I don't know if that's Ryukishi just being a smartass and making a callback, or if it's actually some sort of indication of magic being real here.
I mean, like, if you see, what was it, at the very beginning, Kinzo and, like, Nanjo are, like, playing chess, and, like, towards, like, the end of Higurashi, they use, like, chess pieces, like, terminology.
Ryukishi loves his chess analogies.
Yeah. So, like...
Yeah, but in chess, it's not about luck, it's about strategy.
Well, you got anything else?
No, I think that's everything.
Alrighty then.